1 o'clock kickoff coming your way. The big one at Texas Stadium with the Cowboys hosting the New York Giants.
Cowboys are going to win this football game. They're going to have to throw touchdown passes. The Giants have only allowed one rushing TD all year.
Matt, the Dallas Cowboys have allowed just 2 offensive touchdowns in their last 15 quarters.
And they will continue to score. As long as we got Emmitt Smith going, they're going to score.
All right, our other 1 o'clock kickoff is Tampa Bay at Detroit. The Bucs are after their first season sweep of the Lions since 1990. For most of you, those games are coming up next. Some of you will see Philadelphia against the Phoenix Cardinals coming your way at 4 Eastern. We'll be picking our midseason MVPs on the post-game show. We thank you for joining us. Right now, it is game time on the
first place before a sold-out crowd. Over 60,000 in attendance. Here's the way it looks in the NFC East. The Cowboys, who've won 5 straight. 5-2, along with the Giants, who lost that heartbreaker to the Jets last week, also 5-2. Dan Reeves, the Giant coach, first regular season visit ever to Texas Stadium as a head coach. Pat Summerall with John Madden. What do the Giants have to do to win this game, John?
Well, of course, they were counting on having their all-pro running back Rodney Hampton back today. They tried Rodney Hampton out in the pregame warm-up and decided that he couldn't go, so they're going to start Lewis Tillman again. And Lewis Tillman isn't bad. He's averaging 5.3 yards a carry, so what they'll do is they'll play Tillman and Dave Megan, try and control the ball. I think a lot of it is this offensive line. They have to control that Dallas defense, both on run blocking and pass protection.
And the Cowboys have a lot of firepower.
And you talk about a running back that's hot. How about this guy, Emmitt Smith? Last week, he gained 237 yards. And he said yesterday he's ready for another day like that today.
Brad Deluiso set to kick it off. Temperature right now 54 degrees. It's supposed to get up in the low 60s. Partly sunny all day long. The wind 10 or 15 miles an hour. Kevin Williams and Kenneth Gant back deep for Dallas. Brad Deluiso to kick it off. Vita Williams at the 4. To the 22. Good coverage. Troy Aikman, the quarterback for Dallas, operating behind a veteran, big, strong offensive line. 2-8, Newton, Stepnoski, Gogan, and Eric Williams. And the fellows who handle the ball, Emmitt Smith, Darrell Johnson, the 2 running backs, Irvin and Harper wide. Jay Novacek is the tight end. 1st and 10, Dallas at their own 22. Aikman, as good as there is. To Smith. Outside the 25, and let's look at the Giant defense. 3-man front, Fox, Dillard, and Hamilton. The 4 linebackers who make most of the tackles, Canavas, McGee, Brooks, Bailey, and Miller. In the secondary, Perry Williams and Mark Collins, the cornerbacks, Jackson and Guyton, the 2 safeties. They're playing well.
I'll tell you, that sure looks different, though, when you look at those New York Giant linebackers. You don't see number 56, Lawrence Taylor, as the starter.
He may be used on special occasions. This is Smith on the lead draw that they run and like so much. Close to a first down. Corey Miller made the stop with Stacy Dillard.
You know, the guys that really have to make the tackles, the way this defense of the Giants is set up, is Michael Brooks and Carlton Bailey, the 2 inside guys. What the defensive line does is they try and just foul up blocking combinations, hold the offensive line, not let them get to the inside linebackers. And then Bailey and Brooks are the leading tacklers on this team, and they have to be because they're the guys they try and free up to make the tackle.
3rd and short, about a yard. Novacek lined up on the flank to the right. Smith gets the first down. Stopped by Jackson here, the leading tacklers for the Giants. As John Madden said, Bailey and Brooks, the 2 linebackers in the middle.
And look, if you look here, right here, these are the 2 guys, right? And the whole defense is made up so that the 2 inside linebackers make the tackle. Now, the front group, Dillard and Fox and Hamilton, they're in there just to try and keep those blockers off these 2 inside guys.
Just to hold their ground. If they do that, they feel they've done a good job. Here's Aikman back to throw. Outside to Darrell run by Mark Collins and Michael Brooks.
Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys are going to use Johnston more as a receiver today out here in this short flat like a tight end. Jim Price, who's their second tight end, is injured and isn't going to play today, so they're going to use Johnston as a fullback, but also as a second tight end type.
2nd and 5. He, of course, is a fine blocker for Emmitt Smith.
He's a good football player.
Here's Smith. Hit right at the line of scrimmage by Brooks.
Emmitt Smith stocked up after a short
Brooks
gain.
didn't give.
And that's exactly the way this defense is supposed to work. We were talking about the inside linebackers making the tackle. Michael Brooks is the guy. You see the line is going to take on the blocks, and you're going to see 94. Boom, right there. See, he's free. No blocker could get on him, so he's free. And when you're free, you have to make that tackle.
And that was well done by Michael Brooks. 3rd and 4. Emmitt Smith got perhaps a yard. Here's Aikman to throw it. Outside, complete to Novacek. Novacek close to midfield. 1st down, Cowboys. Taken down by Collins.
Now the Giants are trying to get David Tate. They're playing Tate on Novacek. Tate was on Novacek, but Aikman is so hot now, and he is so accurate with his passing that the coverage was there, and he still threw the ball in there. Now watch Aikman. He's gonna put that ball in there. Number 49, Tate, is on Novacek. He's right there. That had to be a perfect throw. Aikman put the ball to Novacek, the only place that he could catch it.
1st and 10, close to midfield. Aikman will throw it again. Throws it outside to Emmitt Smith. Smith gets to the Giant 45, knocked out of bounds there by McGee.
This is one of the things the Cowboys felt that they had to start their passing game with. The way the Giant defense plays, you're not going to be able to hit the outside receivers a lot. So they're going to work this inside. They're going to work underneath, and they're going to work the short area. You see, they have the underneath, and now they hit the back coming out of the backfield. So they've thrown to Smith, they've thrown to Novacek, and they've thrown to Johnston, and haven't gone to their outside receivers yet.
Smith again. Inside the Giant 40 to about the 38. Brooks and McGee. Myron Guyton with an assist.
He's going to get right in here behind his right guard. You watch Gogan here and Williams there. Those are two big guys. They weigh about 620 pounds. Then you get that lead block there by Johnston, and just some great running by Emmitt Smith.
Emmitt Smith, if you look at him physically, he doesn't look that big, but he is 210 pounds and strong. Another Dallas 1st down. Stopped by Perry Williams.
That's the first pass to a wide receiver, and they know they have to get the ball to Michael Irvin. So what they said is they could get it to him underneath. And you can see by coming under in this area right here is where they can do it. If we can just start it and show what underneath means, we see the motion come here. Now Irvin is left up on this side right here. See, now he starts here. Now underneath, the linebackers and secondary come here, and he just runs right underneath on a crossing pattern. Then he hits that pass there. See, so they had to start him on one side, motion him to the other side, and then bring him underneath the pass defense.
And the Cowboys have taken their first timeout. Aikman over to the sideline to check. 9:16, the Cowboys left on the move.
Meet Michelle Fields, free-spirited, adventurous.
Among other things.
Anyway, when Michelle drove a Pontiac Grand Am with a powerful V6 and sport suspension, she knew she'd found her fun car.
Well, I do love the way it drives.
You bet.
But actually, it's the quality feel. And with the standard airbag and anti-lock brakes for thousands less than your quarter Camry. My Grand Am was too good to pass up.
So the new Grand Am is the fun choice and the smart choice.
You were really quick.
We are driving excitement, Pontiac. When you order a Bigfoot pizza from Pizza Hut, remember to order some Pepsi, or you'll be making a mistake. A very big mistake. Oh. So when you order Bigfoot, don't forget to ask for plenty of Pepsi. Bigfoot Pizza, a legendary value.
You have any idea why Duracell batteries last so long?
Why they last so long?
Yes.
I can never explain why. I'm not a sort of an engineer, but it's all we carry. And never got a complaint.
That's good enough for us, Mike.
Duracell. No other battery lasts longer.
Introducing the new Shell MasterCard from Chemical Bank. With this MasterCard, when you buy something you want, you earn something you need. Free Shell gasoline. With the new Shell MasterCard from Chemical Bank, average drivers could save 10% of their yearly gasoline costs. Use the card just 6 times a year and there's no annual fee. To apply for the Shell MasterCard from Chemical Bank, call 1-800-FREE-GAS.
Cowboys have had 9 plays. There's Lawrence Taylor. No action as yet. He's been bothered by that bad hamstring. He's just going to play on special occasions.
And those special occasions, I think, are going to be short passing downs, like long yardage situations, and the Giant defense haven't put the Cowboys in that situation yet.
2 tight end setup for the Cowboys. Joey Mickey lined up on the right. That's Emmitt Smith. Down to about the 22, stopped by Michael Brooks again. Smith is now the 4th all-time rusher in Cowboy history. He has broken that record held by Robert Newhouse to move into 4th place.
Yeah, he's just an amazing guy. I mean, I think he has a perfect build for a running back. He's, 5'9", 210 pounds. Not a lot to see, not a lot to hit, but very quick and very, very powerful.
And durable.
And I think he's one of the toughest running backs in all of football.
Aikman's made 2, gets the ball to Johnston down to the 15. Second reception for Darrell Johnston, known as the Moose.
Yeah, and old Troy Aikman said we're going to use the Moose more again because we don't have our second tight end, Jim Price. We're going to throw him the ball a little more. And I said, you mean you're going to feature the Moose? And he laughed and said, no, it'll be a cold day before we ever feature the Moose.
We'll utilize the Moose, but not feature him.
I'll tell you, he's a very important part of this offense. So, I mean, you get your Michael Irvins and you get your Harpers and your Emmitt Smiths, but a guy like Johnston makes a lot of it possible. I mean, he's the guy that'll catch that short pass. He's the guy that'll make that lead block for Emmitt Smith. He's a very important part of this offense.
That much for a first down. Aikman, by the way, is 5 out of 5 in this opening drive.
This is when you love to be a coach. When you got things going like this, but second and real short is the easiest down to call a play on, because you can do anything. And if it doesn't work, well, you still got 3rd down. And if it does work, you can say, hey, look at that call. Get a wheelbarrow out there.
3rd and 1. Very short. Jimmy Johnston will take a gamble once in a while.
He loves to gamble.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that makes him the top coach that he is that he will gamble in all areas.
Novacek in motion. And Smith to the right side. He might have gotten the first down, but maybe he did not.
They look like that Kevin Gogan. They didn't get it. Kevin Gogan was the tight end on that side. I don't think he got off on the ball.
Laid off the ball. You're right.
They start there. Now he looks like the ball snapped and he doesn't move. You see, he gets off there late and he lets Corey Miller get up and get penetration.
And somehow the ball came loose. The Cowboys got it back. This is a 34-yard field goal attempt if we have one. Eddie Murray.
The Cowboys are short a guy. In fact, they didn't have a wing on the left side. The Cowboys only had 10 guys. Here he comes now.
It was a Moose. He was loose. They couldn't find him.
Mom, tell the truth. Is everything all right?
Is this where we reverse roles?
Be serious. I mean, you won't have to sell the house or anything, will you?
Well, why would I do that?
Mom.
Look, when you were away at school, Dad met with Greg Hall down at Payne Weber.
No, that was 10 years ago.
They set up this annuity just in case anything happened.
So you have enough?
More than enough every month.
How about Paine Webber guy know back then what Daddy wanted for you?
You asked.
The stuff I took almost worked on this miserable head cold.
Almost doesn't count.
It kinda helped my chest cold.
Kinda doesn't cut it. Maybe your cold medicine's not working for your kind of cold because it treats all colds the same. Introducing one that doesn't. New Bayer Select cold medicines. Powerful ingredients. So exacting. To be right on target. Each goes after specific symptoms and hits the spot. New aspirin-free Bayer Select targeted cold medicines. Exactly what's right for exactly what's wrong.
What a day for a daydream.
A new look, impossible to resist. The rush of a powerful V6 engine, superb control and handling, even the safety of driver and passenger airbags. This stuff of dreams? Not anymore.
Like it?
Loved it.
The new Grand Prix Sport Coupe.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We are driving excitement. Paine Webber, we believe our most important investment is an investment in relationships. Castrol GTX, engineered for today's smaller cars. And by Bayer Select cold and flu products, exactly what's right for exactly what's wrong.
Eddie Murray sets up to attempt a 34-yard field goal. Jay Novacek holding. Now they've got all 11 men in there. Murray is good. And the Cowboys, after that long, time-consuming drive, get a field goal and lead 3-0. The Giant offense then will be led by Phil Simms. In front of him, a good offensive line. Elliott, Roberts, Oates, Kratch, and Riesenberg. Lewis Tillman starts at running back again. Jared Bunch. Blocker for him. McCaffrey and Jackson, the wide receivers. Howard Cross, the tight end. 13 plays for the Cowboys, 61 yards. They kept the ball 7.5 minutes.
Now we're going to see number 29 there, Kenneth Gant. He's one of the top cover guys in the National Football League. But before he covers, he goes through a little deal. He's going to walk back here and get the fans excited. And you get the other cover guys, they're just regular cover guys. And see now Gant's getting them started now. See, and then he'll walk back there, and then he'll start firing them all up.
Getting himself started too.
Well, that was kind of a tame one for Kenny Gant.
Got that you out of a hunker. Short kick by Murray. Going to be handled by Megan. Megan to about the 26-27. Beg your pardon, it was Callaway, not Megan. Cowboy defense, 4 men up front. Haley, Maryland, Casillas, and Tolbert. But they do a lot of changing. Darren Smith, Ken Norton, while he can, and Dixon Edwards. Norton has that separated bicep muscle. Brown, Everett, Woodson, and Kevin Smith in the secondary. The pitch is back to Lewis Tillman. Tillman out to about the 30. Stopped by Norton.
You know, it's an interesting thing. The Cowboys used a new defense on that when they put Charles Haley on the strong side. Then they put a linebacker on the tight end inside. So they doubled up on crossover on that side, expecting the strong side run. And the Giants on the first play came back away from that.
This now is their normal defensive setup, with Haley on the right. The rest of the defensive line the same. This is Tillman. Hit first by Darren Smith. Charles Haley with the assist.
You know, one thing about Tillman, he's a slasher. He is going to get into and out of the hole quickly. I mean, he gets there in that handoff, and he sees something. He's going to put his head down and run right through it. He's not a dancer. He's not a shaker. He's not moving and going back and forth. He's a slasher.
That's the word all the coaches and all the opponents use to describe him. Slasher. 3rd and short. was Meggett, who did not even get back to the line of scrimmage before he was hit first by Norton and then by Smith.
Yeah, Darren Smith wasn't blocked, and he came flying in that backfield. I tell you, he gets to Meggett. Watch number 59 as that ball snapped. Here's Meggett. He's going to take off, and he's just running a little delay up the middle. And there comes Darren Smith. He blitzes in the hole that Meggett was trying to run into, and no one blocked him.
Landetta back to punt, standing at about his own 21. Short kick for Landetta. And it'll roll dead about the 31. 5:06 left to play in the first quarter at Texas Stadium. 3-0 Cowboys.
Pontiac believes safety is so important to the modern high-performance sports car. We've equipped all our new Firebirds with standard driver and passenger airbags, standard anti-lock brakes, and safety cage construction, a combination of safety technologies rare on any sports car at any price, let alone one starting at under $14,000. Introducing the all-new Firebird.
As your engine revs higher, the oil forms a hydrodynamic wedge, protecting your engine parts. But as your oil's viscosity breaks down, so can the wedge. That's why Castrol GTX has unique viscosity improvers. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol, because if your viscosity breaks down, what's next? Castrol GTX. Now get a free officially licensed NFL team football when you buy a case of Castrol GTX.
If you give up AT&T quality and call from Atlanta to Boston with someone else, here's your big savings. Leaving AT&T doesn't make a lot of sense.
There is a sound you can hear on the new Riviera. It's the sound of German being spoken by those who converge on Ocean Drive. In your town, America, and the world. Beck's, the #1 imported German beer.
5:06 left to play in the first quarter. Dallas leading 3-0. That's the Ring of Honor. The Cowboy players, the outstanding players of the past, some of them at least, inducted into the Ring of Honor. And at the half today, the former coach Tom Landry will be put into that Ring of Honor. It's been quite an emotional week.
As Dan Reeves said, if it weren't for Tom Landry, there'd be no Ring of Honor.
On first down, Emmitt Smith. Stopped by Carlton Bailey and Corey Miller.
And those are the two guys, again, the linebackers. We talked about this defensive line. They're up there. They're trying to, take the blocking combinations on, keep those linemen off those linebackers. And then if you do that, the linebackers then have to make the tackle, and then they can use that loose umbrella or that loose cover 2 double zone defense.
Second down, Aikman back to throw it. Good pressure by the Giants, but Irvin's open. Into New York territory.
And that's the way they get man-to-man. The Giants usually play zone defense. That time they were man-to-man because they had a blitz. And you're going to see, here's Michael Irvin. Here he's going against Collins. He just runs his pattern up here. You see, because of the blitz. You see the blitz inside? Now that makes him play man-to-man. Michael Irvin, who just runs an out, he just runs Collins deep. Collins was playing like a post or a deeper pattern, and then Michael Irvin just cut it out.
16-yard gain for Dallas as they move into Giant territory. First down, Emmitt Smith. To about the 41, stopped by Hamilton.
Now, what the Giants are talking about is how they're going to get their running game going. In fact, there's Meggett. They wonder, where that blitz came from on that third down play. But if the Giants are going to have any chance today, they have to have ball control. They have have to win the battle of possession, and they have to keep the Dallas offense off the field. They haven't been able to do any of those things so far.
Emmitt Smith already with 9 carries to Harper from Aikman. Stopped by Guyton. Boy, Aikman is throwing it about as well as you can throw it.
Yeah, I mean, he's so accurate right here. He can throw right into coverage. You watch Perry Williams is there. It's that double zone. And all Harper does is just get inside of Williams a little, and he has to hit him between Perry Williams, the corner, and Greg Jackson, the safety, and he put it in there perfectly. I mean, Troy Aikman right now is the most accurate passer in the National Football League.
He hasn't missed today, 7 of 7. This is Emmitt Smith. Pulled down as he tried to take it to the outside by Canavis McGee.
One thing about the Giants, the way they play, if you can just look here, you see they have these linemen in here, so they want to stop the inside running and make Smith take it or bounce it to the outside. And that's what they're doing, and that's what they've been able to. You see how tough they are inside. You see, everyone takes the inside, and they make him bounce it to the outside, and that's what they want to do. Michael Brooks took the inside, didn't let him have a cutback, didn't let him have an inside hole, bounced him out.
With time, going for a bunch to Harper, touchdown. Again, the perfect throw from 28 yards away.
Troy Aikman has been perfect. Anytime they catch him in anything except that double zone, they want to get to their wide receivers. They beat Mark Collins on an out when he played the post. And that time, they beat him on a post when he played something else.
Aikman is 8 out of 8.
Aikman has shown us how you play quarterback in the National Football League if you want to win back-to-back Super Bowls.
Murray for the extra point. 10-0 Dallas. 2 minutes, 5 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Cowboys lead it 10-0.
So what's this new deal?
2 pizzas.
2 pizzas. Write that down.
And on the 2 pizzas, choose any topping up to 5. Do you have to pick the same topping on each pizza? No.
Then the possibilities are endless.
What do you mean? 5 plus 5 are 10.
Actually, there are 1,048,576 possibilities.
10 was just a ballpark figure.
You got that right.
Little Caesars favorite 5, not 1 but 2 pizzas. Choice of 5 toppings, $7.98.
Pizza.
Meet Greg and Nancy Wagner. They love to cut loose.
Hey, come on.
Obviously, they got themselves a hot, fun-to-drive car.
We got a Pontiac Grand Am.
Exactly. A powerful new V6, sports suspension, a real blast.
Hey, the Grand Am also makes a lot of sense. It's solid, it's got an airbag and anti-lock brakes, standard.
Lots of room for the family.
For thousands less than a quarter Camry.
So that fun Grand Am was also the smart car to buy? Can you beat that?
Nope.
We are driving excitement, Pontiac.
Lasers, satellites, cellular data networks. What exactly have we launched here? UPS Total Track, the only tracking system that can confirm delivery of your air and designated ground packages coast to coast in seconds.
Package was signed for at 9:26 this morning by Mr.
The arms race may be over, but the package race is just heating up.
The best in entertainment. A chance to win a 94 Chevy S-Series pickup and preview Return to Lonesome Dove on CBS. Hot Picks, a free rental at Blockbuster.
10-0 Cowboys. Gant going through his little cheerleading procedure to excite himself and the crowd and the rest of the coverage team.
Michael Irvin was saying that, he is really feeling his oats now. Michael Irvin says you have a saying, don't rock the boat until you make sure you're on it. He said Gant knows he's on the boat now. He's sure as heck rocking it.
Murray's kick handled by Megan at the 5. Vanderbeek down to make the stop. And the make-it return.
Yeah, that's the thing that the Cowboys have is they have real good cover guys. They have Bill Bates and they have Kenny Gant here. Now, Gant is a guy that we talked about that goes through all the things. Now, if you're going to go through all those deals before, once that ball's kicked, you better run down there and take on blocks and not pull up and just keep going until the whistle blows because you're going to be a marked man.
First and 10, Giants at their own 20. Here's Phil Simms back to throw. Screen pass to Tillman. And Tillman into the Dallas secondary outside the 40 to about the 43.
I think what the Giants have to do now, and they start off here with just a screen pass. Again, Simms is going to come back. Let Tillman fake like he's blocking. See, he takes a block on there. Let the screen, the line get out in front. Good block there by Cratch. And just get something going. Just think now, let's get some first downs. Okay, it didn't start off very well.
No, it didn't. Started with a little juggling. First down, Giants at their own 42. Simms fakes to Tillman. Chase. Pass is complete to Bunch. Out of the backfield at midfield.
Yeah, the reason that one to Tillman it didn't look too good is Tillman doesn't have a lot of experience at catching the football. He's in there and he's a runner. If they're going to pass, they usually put in Dave Meggett. In fact, that was the first reception that Tillman has had this year. It was a little screen pass and he kind of bobbled it. And once he caught it, he could run with it. I don't know how many he's going to catch.
Simms starts Howard Cross in motion this time and gives to Tillman. Tried to get it outside, cut down by Norton.
Well, in the pregame show, we were seeing Ken Norton, and we know that last week he tore his bicep. And there was a question whether he was going to be able to play or not, but that was a good read right there. He just read that thing, and then he found that gap. That was his gap. It was almost like a blitz getting in that hole.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score Dallas 10, the Giants nothing.
DeskJet printers from Hewlett-Packard. It's easy to make it happen.
There are lots of firsts in life where First Interstate Bank just can't help you. But there are firsts where First Interstate can be a big help, like helping you fulfill a dream. Then we'll do everything possible to make it come true. And because there's so many times when no one can help you, when it comes to banking, come to First Interstate Bank, and we'll go out of our way to help you, as long as we can.
Those smart folks at Magnavox have asked me to tell you about all their highly intelligent products in just 15 seconds. You must be joking. Impossible. No way. Don't be ridiculous. The nerve. That's it. I quit.
Magnavox. Smart. Very smart. Watch how fast Dristan nasal spray works.
What do you smell? I smelled something. I don't know what it was. Use Dristan nasal spray. Now smell.
That's an orange. Dristan nasal spray worked fast.
Dristan nasal spray. Fast, effective relief.
In her first major competition this season, American champion Nancy Kerrigan competes in the ladies' final at Pirouette next Saturday on CBS.
Beginning of the second quarter, the Cowboys lead the Giants 10-0. Third and about 4. If you look at those first half statistics, they want to control the clock. And Dallas has been able to do that. That's usually in the Giants game. 3rd and 4. Make it in the backfield. Cowboys showing blitz. McCaffrey. Flag on the play. covered. Jimmy Jones might have jumped off sides early. And then there's another flag downfield.
Of course, that was the nickel defense of the Cowboys. The Giants had their 3 wide receivers in. They read blitz, so they were trying to just get that quick up out there. Jimmy Jones is one of the pass rushing inside guys for the Cowboys, and it did look like he jumped.
Then there was another flag downfield. Dick Hantack is the referee. Phil Simms is still full of enthusiasm.
Well, I think they have a pass interference.
I think so.
Is the one that they'll probably take, because that's going to, well, any penalty would give the Giants a first down here.
That's probably what Phil Simms is talking to Dick Hantack about right now. We'll take the longest one.
Yeah, of course, if it were interference, then it's going to be a real long one. If it's just pushing or hitting after the 5 yards.
We have multiple fouls on the defense. Offside. Defense number 94. Penalty is declined. Pass interference. Defense number 26. Penalty is accepted. First down. Spell the foul.
Long penalty is against Kevin Smith. Haley was the man they named as jumping off sides. I don't think it was Haley. I think it was Jimmy Jones.
Now, I think Jimmy Jones jumped in that neutral zone, but the one that they took anyway was the one on Kevin Smith.
Right. First down in any case. Giants at the Dallas 36. This is Louis Tillman. Tillman with a lot of room, a big hole and a giant first down inside the Dallas 25, about the 23.
You know, that's one thing that you can do against this Dallas Cowboy defense. Even talking to Jimmy Johnson, he admitted that. He said the matchup that we don't really have is this one. Our defense against their offense. Now watch this hole out. You see, you just stretch it. And the minute you see daylight, now that is daylight. Anyone would run to that. You see, remember old Vince Lombardi run to daylight? That's a big old daylight Tillman saw there.
Not much daylight on the next play, however, but a flag on the play.
Walter Maryland and Benson Edwards leading the defensive charge. A flag tossed in for the file.
That was one of those that came from that deep official that is usually against the tight end. One way or another, either the tight end.
Face mask. Defense. 5 yards. Repeat the down. First down.
Or someone against the tight end. Now, Jimmy Johnson hates this. I mean, Jimmy Johnson is a neat freak. And he likes his players to play perfectly. And he doesn't want any penalties. He doesn't want any turnovers. And these 2 things in a row, or 3 penalties really in a row, are driving him crazy right now, I guarantee you.
See if we can find the face mask. There it is. On Thomas Everett. First and 10. About the 16-yard line of Dallas. And Sims will throw it. Had Megan open, but couldn't quite get it there. Good play by Darren Smith. Got his hand up and knock it down.
Yeah, I think Sims put a little too much air under that one because, as you said, he had Megan. But one thing about Darren Smith, he's a rookie, but he's a rookie that can really run. Now, the Cowboys love speed, and this is where speed helps their defense. See, that ball is thrown up. It has a little too much air under it. In other words, he kind of lobbed the ball in there, and he let Darren Smith catch up to it.
He had time to get there. 2nd and 2. Tillman did not get it.
Now, you know, they're having a lot of success, and they were having a lot of success running to their left side in there behind Jumbo Elliott. The Giants have a good offensive line, and of their offensive linemen, number 76 there, Jumbo Elliott is the best.
Jumbo's got some problems with a pinched nerve in his neck. And sometimes when he gets tired, he doesn't have much strength in his left arm.
They don't even have a pass rusher over Jumbo out there. Look at that. They don't have any run rushers from that right end.
Sims' pass is complete. Mark Jackson knocked out of bounds. That'll be enough to make it 1st and goal.
I like that. I like that call here. It's kind of 3rd and short. Instead of going to 2 tight ends, they go to 3 wide receivers. They spread the defense out. They just get man-to-man out there, and Jackson, and boom, he just hits Mark Jackson out there. That was on Kenny Gant.
Right.
Made him on short yardage. It made the Cowboys play nickel by spreading them out. That's not a bad move.
So it's 1st and goal at about the 7.5. Tillman, the lone setback. Pierce was the man in motion. Tillman doesn't get much. Hit low by Russell Maryland, high by Ken Norton.
Russell Maryland was the guy who made the play. Again, when you're going to run anywhere, you have to stop penetration. Or if you're on defense, the first thing you have to do is you have to get penetration. Now watch Russell Maryland here. He's going to get penetration. Now that's the thing. You see, they start the block. Now right now, he right there, he gets the penetration. He did a lot of things, though, before he got that penetration. He really played that block well. He manhandled the block.
2nd and goal at the 7. Sims to throw it. Touchdown. You had to wait a minute. It's Jackson. Got both feet down in the corner of the end zone. Flag on the play, however.
Yeah, we talked about Troy Aikman getting the ball in a tight place. I'll tell you, Phil Sims did too. Watch this ball. It looked like it took off a little on him, but there's not a lot of room out there, and that's a perfect pass to Mark Jackson. Although there's a penalty and it's going to come back, it was still a great pass.
Holding. Offense, number 61. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. 2nd down.
Holding called against Bob Tratch.
Now, you know, the Giants got down here. They had a couple of penalties on this drive against the Cowboys, and they finally get a touchdown, and then they have a penalty against them.
Sims back again. The time pass complete to McCaffrey. Bounced around off tacklers. Finally taken down by Gant, but about the 5-yard line.
Yeah, I thought those passes to the outside took off a little on Sims. I thought that one, the touchdown they threw to Mark Jackson, and that one he threw in the end zone to make it. But I'll tell you, that one there, he zipped that ball into McCaffrey there. That was a heck of a throw. Watch this one. I mean, this one is a line drive. I mean, he threw a rope there. That is a heck of a throw to McCaffrey. Now, a lot of times these guys have to throw the ball. They don't even see the guy they're throwing it to.
Right. 3rd and 4. Jackson was the man in motion. Sims incomplete. Intended for Megan. Now they'll have to settle for a field goal.
You make it in the backfield. Now, anytime it's 3rd down and less than 5 yards, the defenses are going to play make it. You see right there, Kenny Norton was just waiting. He was just waiting, and then behind him, he had Thomas Everett. So they double and make it on that play, and I think most teams will do that against the Giants when it's a passing down less than 5.
David Treadwell from 21 yards away. Hits the field goal. And with 11:07 left to play in the first half, Cowboys 10, Giants 3.
How'd you like to buy a car with some serious attitude? Sport Coupe. It's your money. I was driving, and then I forgot where I was. I think I left my body, but then I came back. I got hungry.
I brought back a vision. The number 7. The 7-layer burrito. New from Taco Bell. Rice, beans, sour cream, lettuce, pepper cheese, tomatoes, and guacamole. Only 99 cents for a limited time. I could almost taste it, and then I did. And I came back full.
Crossed.
Football.
Real football.
On real grass.
Lambeau Field in snow.
No,
too obvious. What about the fearsome foursome?
The Purple People Eaters.
Carl Eller.
No-name defense.
The Oakland Raiders.
Baltimore Colts.
Hey, Mike Curtis.
Ray Nitschke.
Willie Lanier.
Immaculate reception.
Franco's Italian.
Oh, real fullback.
Franco Harris, Marv Hubbard, take your pick.
No. The Snake to Clarence Davis, 26 seconds left. AFC semifinals versus Miami.
Beechwood Aged Budweiser. Crisp, clean, classic.
This game summary is sponsored by Budweiser.
Rodney Hampton inactive today. Aikman is 8 out of 8 for Dallas. Smith, 10 carries, 39 yards. Tillman, 7 rushes for 23. Both teams trying to run the ball and use as much of the clock as they can.
I thought the Giants on that last drive threw the ball well. That pass that Sims made to McCaffrey was a heck of a throw, as was the touchdown pass to Mark Jackson, was called back because of holding on Bob Cratch.
Cagliariso, high kick. Kevin Williams at the 1. Room. Cagliariso finally got him out of bounds at midfield. They've been waiting for that.
I know that. Yeah, here's the touchdown play. Now, the guy that they call is Bob Cratch there for holding. He said it's going to be a touchdown pass. It was called back. Cratch is blocking against Casillas, and it's where he got his hand out there. I guess what they have to call. Then he grabs him with that right hand. And he fell right in front of Sims. So I think they had a couple things they probably could have called on Bob Cratch.
And they did. First and 10, the ball at midfield. Dallas ahead by a touchdown. Aikman going to work for more. To Harper. He got another one. Seen some great quarterbacks and some great throwers over the years, but I don't think I've ever seen anybody throw the ball more perfectly than Aikman has today.
I think the best thing the Giants could do now is throw a bucket of ice on Aikman because he is hot.
9 out of 9, 2 touchdowns. Murray's extra point is good at 17-3.
Alvin Harper is going to just run right by number 47, Greg Jackson. They play that double coverage. The safety has to take him. He can't catch Harper.
If you care about this big, beautiful world, show me.
Don't give me another toxic antifreeze.
Give me something different.
Don't just tell me how it protects to 70 below.
And guards against rust?
Any antifreeze can do that.
Tell me it's safer for my dog, my family, the kids.
Tell me nothing protects better.
And it's biodegradable.
That's what I want to know.
That's what I want to hear.
New Sierra. It's not just antifreeze, it's safety freeze.
I don't think there's any family who wants to have to go to somebody else to feed their children. Hunger exists in every community. Hunger really cuts across every segment of society. We know what the answer is, and the answer is to feed people. It's going to take a lot to solve hunger in this country. We're grateful for American Express card member support in helping to provide a meal every time they use the card.
You can help. Use the American Express card to join the Charge Against Hunger till December 31st.
Nissan advertises their Altima is starting under $14,000.
Yeah, but unlike the Oldsmobile Achieva Special Edition, that price doesn't include air, automatic, anti-lock brakes, AM/FM stereo, and floor mats. Things that can make an Ultima finish just under 18 grand. The Achieva Special Edition with all that and more is only $13,995. Well, you could always split it with me. It's your money.
Maurice wants to start a film festival.
Orson Welles. Oh, yeah, that big fat fella did the Sherry commercial.
All new Northern Exposure Monday.
Okay, now we're going to see Alvin Harper right here. The Giants play a double zone. We're going to get a rotation by Perry Williams, and then Jackson coming deep. Harper gets by the bump and then just runs right by Jackson. You see the bump here? Now watch, then he just has too much speed. He just runs right by Greg Jackson, and it's a perfect throw by Trey.
And Murray is set to kick off. This one's deep and good. And they'll stay there. Callaway handled it. Meggett told him to remain in the end zone. Let's go back to that touchdown again. There are more reasons than one.
Well, and I'll tell you what the reasons are is right here, this front group of the pass protection, because to be able to throw deep like that, when the guy does get bumped, you have to have time. Watch the time Aikman has. Pump, pump, and then be able to stand and throw the ball like that. That's excellent pass protection, and that's where it all starts. I'll tell you, this day that Aikman is having is just amazing. I mean, he's not just throwing little short, dinky passes. I mean, he's throwing some bombs in there, too.
As Norv Turner, the offensive coordinator, says, he's throwing it very straight. Bunch over the left side. Stopped by Dixon Edwards.
First contact came from Tony Casillas.
Yeah, you watch here. You see, there's Casillas here. He's gonna take on Williams, the center, because they play over and under. And he plays a little thing. And the minute that he feels that double team, he turns his back. And you turn your back on the double team, and then a lot of times when they slip block, that will push you right into the runner, as it did that time.
2nd and 5. He sends to Tillman this time. He's got some room. But the door shut very quickly, led by Ken Norton.
This is the thing that these ball control teams really have trouble with, is getting down 17-3. And that was the point that I was making earlier, is that you can run, you can have a good line, but at some point when you play the Cowboys, because they're so explosive, they have so many weapons, their quarterback is so hot, you have to be able to throw the ball.
And when you get behind, as you say, like this, that's what you have to do. 3rd and 2. That's what Sims will try to do. And does. This is going to be off to the races. This is Callaway. Run down by Everett and Kevin Smith.
I don't know why he just didn't keep running straight ahead.
I don't either.
Kevin Smith was coming across, and Callaway just ran right into him. Doesn't look like he had a touchdown. If you just watch this, he's out here to the right of the screen. Sims drops back. He kind of throws the ball, sidearm, gets it here. Now look, if just run straight ahead, just keep coming this way. Keep coming here. Just keep that. See, he turns back right into the guy. That's unbelievable.
A lot of looking.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know what the heck he saw. You just look at the end zone, boom, and you just smell it and go to it.
47-yard pickup. This was trying to be a flea flicker. Sims gets back to the ball, and that backfired. They try to go in a hurry. Too big of a hurry.
Yeah, they tried to go in a hurry with the trick play, and it didn't work. I think Sims isn't laughing there because it didn't work. I think at the end of the play, they were trying to get the ball away from him. Again, you see, he hands it to Tillman. Now, Tillman tries to take it up as far as he can and then throw it back. But when he throws it back in an errant way. Now Sims has the ball, the play's over, and you see Tony Casillas trying to take it away from him there.
Yeah.
That's what Sims was laughing about, not to play.
I don't know if he was laughing or grimacing.
Well, you know how you kind of do. It's kind of a nervous laugh. You really don't mean it.
It's a sarcastic grin. Here's Sims to throw it on second down. Chased out of the pocket, gets it to Megan. Megan is sandwiched between Jeffcoat and Kenny Gann.
Pass complete to Plinkett.
Hey, you know, you look at Jeffcoat, and he doesn't start anymore. Played 11 years in this league, but he sure hustled on that play. I mean, they got a good block to the outside. They made Megan cut back, and there was Jeffcoat and Gann. Whenever you see a defensive lineman downfield making a tackle on a screen on a cutback, that means the guy's hustling.
3rd and 25. Sims had to step up. Dumps it out to Pierce, I believe. Derek Brown, who had stayed in to block. Brown gets him back in field goal range at least.
I think Dan Reeves knew that in this game that he was going to have to take some shots, and he always has trick plays in his bag, and sometimes they work. Remember, we did the Washington Redskin game, and everything that he did worked, but that time it didn't work.
The bag wasn't quite big enough.
Now, Sims still looks like he has a smile on his face over that one.
Maybe that's not a grimace. Treadwell. Flag on the play. The field goal is good, but there's a penalty marker down. That was 45 yards away. Like Fishback might have rolled into the kicker.
Well, it could be a 5-yard penalty, or it could be a 15-yard. I think a 15-yard penalty would give them a first down. Then they would have to take the points off the board.
Going to be against Dallas.
Yeah. So is it going to be a 5-yard against them or a 15-yard? Now, if it's a 15 and a first down, do you take the points off?
Maybe
Defense
just offsides.
Lined up in the neutral zone.
Yeah.
58 and 43. The penalty is declined. The field goal is good.
That was a no-brainer. You had to do that. If it's not a first down, you got to keep those 3.
So the points stay on the board. It's Cowboys 17, Giants 6.
You can have a great beef dinner in no time at all. Well, almost no time at all. Beef. It's what's for dinner.
Dear Midas customers, we don't want your family riding around on bad brakes. That's why we'll fix the brakes on most cars the same day you bring it in.
Academy Award winner Al Pacino. In a world of danger, honor is everything. Carlito's Way. Rated R. Starts Friday everywhere.
You need 2 hands to count all the special rates and discounts on Allstate car insurance. For more than one car, pickup trucks, anti-lock brakes, airbags. Good drivers, excellent drivers with Allstate home insurance. And retired drivers over 55. Just pick up a phone and call an Allstate agent for details. For lots of ways to save, you're in good hands with Allstate.
What does 60 Minutes have on Murphy Brown?
She's thorough, resourceful.
She's very competitive.
I saw her push a nun once. All new Murphy Brown, Monday.
Back at Texas Stadium. The Cowboys 17, the Giants 6. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Troy Aikman, his last 5 games, his first 10 passes.
Well, you know, he had an area there. He didn't do well last week because it was raining in Philadelphia. 49 or 7 for 10, but those other 3 games, he was 9 out of 10. And today, of course, he started with 9 out of 9.
That's going to be Williams from 2 yards deep in the end zone. Remember, he got off a long return last time. And this one is going to be as long. No, it's not. probably ran as long, but got back to the 43.
Well, that's a bad day for old Chris Callaway. Number 80, he's the guy that had to play and got caught. It could have been a touchdown. And then on that play, he had a tackle, and he just kind of came up with air on that one. It was an ugly-looking run and an ugly-looking tackle.
47-yard return. First down. Cowboys at their own 43. Harper is left. Irvin is right. That's Novacek in motion. And it's Smith. Nudges it up past the 45.
The gift to Evan Smith.
Dallas started at their own 22, got a field goal. On 32, got a touchdown. Midfield, took them one play. They got another touch.
You know, and they've done that without Lawrence Taylor playing on defense, and he just came in. I think this is the first play that Taylor's been in there. They were waiting to put him in, I think, on that 3rd and long, and their defense couldn't get him into 3rd and long, so this is a 2nd down, a 2nd and long situation.
Taylor put the heat on Aikman. He still got the ball out to Emmitt Smith. Let's watch Lawrence Taylor.
Well, he's going against Mark Tuinay. Mark Tuinay, a big, strong tackle, and Taylor, you know, has that bad hamstring, so he's just trying to make a quick move, and Tuinay just lets him go and just pushes him right by. Lawrence Taylor, I think that hamstring has just been driving him crazy. You know, he's tried all the regular treatments. Last week they played the Jets, and after the game, Ronnie Lott says, why don't you try acupuncture? So he's tried acupuncture a couple times this week. Says that it feels looser than it has in a number of weeks.
3rd and 5. Aikman finally missed one, but there's a flag on the play intended for Novacek.
And you don't think Dan Reeves is excited? Dan Reeves saw that all the way. And he doesn't want it on his guy. He says the offense can push off too. And we're seeing more and more of that, and I think they do get away with it more and more as the offensive receivers pushing off the defensive backs. Although this, I think, is going to go against the Giants.
There's no foul on the play as the ball had been tipped. The ball had been tipped. No foul. 4th down.
Well, that's what Dan Reeves was saying, that you can't have a penalty if the ball is tipped.
After it's tipped, you can.
Yeah. Once the ball is tipped, and then it's a free ball, then you can go for it, you can fight for it, you can do anything for the ball.
Corey Miller tipped it right at the line. John Jedden back to punt for Dallas. And Dave Meggett deep. That one will not be handled. Into the end zone, and the Giants will take over at their own 20. 17-6. Dallas lead.
We'd like to show you our new Achieva Special Edition. Well, for starters, it's got an airbag, 4-wheel anti-lock brakes, air conditioning, automatic transmission, AM/FM stereo, power door locks. Sure, but that's where the really special part comes in. It's your money.
We've helped over 1 million people live a better life with consumer loans. And millions more plan for retirement. We've provided the security of life insurance for 15 million lives. And while we'd like to be known for all the things we've done, we're still a little better known for our building.
They are more precious than gold. Sweeter than the honey. They are more precious than gold. They make wine.
With 3 hours of breathtaking picture and sound on a single tape, and instant playback at the touch of a button. Nothing portrays the moments that color our lives like a Sony Handycam camcorder. It's your life. Isn't it worth a Sony?
Working with Johnny and Doc, how great that was. That wonderful band. You know, every night...
Cut. Hey, guys, we've got the wrong McMahon. Look, Ed, I'm sorry. This is supposed to be a football spot, and you're supposed to be Jim McMahon. There's a mistake. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, Jim is injured. Listen, I got the headband and everything. Well, it's a big doubleheader next week on CBS. Don't forget to be watching, okay? Go get it. Beautiful.
Well, first down, Giants at their own 20.
I think if one McMahon's out, I don't think you'd go with the other McMahon. I think you'd go with Sean Salisbury before you go with Ed McMahon, wouldn't you?
Until he gets a better helmet.
Or a better passing motion.
Yeah. Here's Sims. Out to Chris Callaway.
Okay, here you go. Thank you.
Talking about how well Aikman's been throwing the ball. So has Sims. A couple of those took off early, but the last few have been right on the money.
Yeah, and he's going to have to throw the ball because, you know, the running game isn't doing it. In fact, the Giants lead the NFL in rushing with 158 yards per game. Today they only have 31 yards, and part of that is because the Cowboys have had the ball so much. Another part of it is the score is 17-6 in favor of the Cowboys. So those things keep changing during the game.
This is the man in motion. This is Tillman. Not much there.
Charles Haley.
You know the guy that's always in there. You watch this guy right here, Charles Haley. It just seems like whatever he does, whether it's a run or pass, he just kind of raises havoc. I mean, he takes on a block. He always knows where his blocker is, and he always knows where the ball carrier quarterback is, and he can always play one against the other. And he uses leverage better than anyone.
2nd and 8. Sims is 8 out of 10. Callaway again. Close to a first down. Should have it. Larry Brown, the defender. But again, the pass right on the money.
You know, watch Charles Haley. Now he's playing on the other side. And again, you talk about leverage. Leverage is getting your shoulder pads underneath the guy and lifting him up. Now, when you lift the guy up like that, that takes all his power out, and it gives you the power advantage. And Haley, like I said, does that as well as anyone.
First and 10 Giants at their own 43. Sims again to throw. Going deep for Callaway.
But if the Giants had a little speed in their wide receivers, they could really do some business today because Callaway really was open there. I mean, he beat the double coverage, and that's what Sims is telling him. Hey, just keep going. And he was trying to lead him because he could have led him right through that coverage.
Like some sort of a penalty against Dallas.
Defense number 24, 5-yard penalty.
I still never did hear it. It's against Larry Brown.
Yeah, and it had to be defensive holding. It was 5 yards, so it had to be that he was the guy that hit Callaway after he went 5 yards.
So it's a first down in any case. The Giants at their own 48.
And those penalties are driving Jimmy Johnson crazy. I mean, he likes 17-6, but he doesn't like the number of penalties this Cowboy team has had today.
First and 10. Bunch, the ball carrier, did well to make it back to the line of scrimmage if he did. Jimmy Jones.
The Cowboys are a tough team to run a draw on because they're so fast. I mean, if you look at those defensive guys in there, the defensive line and the linebackers, they aren't big guys. I mean, they aren't real big, but they're very, very quick. So they can start on a pass rush and react to a draw. And they're all good tacklers, too, although the last couple of weeks, Jimmy Johnson said they haven't been tackling well.
Second and 11. Sims under the pressure of the Cowboy rush. Norton was the last to hit Sims. He got rid of it. Intended for Mark Jackson, incomplete.
I think that first guy in there was Darren Smith. He was the first guy there, and he just missed. The thing you always want to do when you're coming from the backside is you always want to run through a quarterback. Now watch him. He's up here. Now when you don't want to jump. You never want to leave your feet. You see, he really has a free shot there, and William Roberts just knocked him off a little. You always want to keep your feet and run right through him, like Ken Norton did at the end of the play there.
Third and 11. Again, Sims back to throw. Hit just as he let the ball go, almost picked off by Gann. But the Giants will have to punt. Again, Sims under hard pressure.
Yeah, Gann's almost got an interception. But watch Haley here, 94. He's the guy who hit Sims just as he threw the ball. That's a stunt. Haley starts on the outside, and then he comes on the inside. But you see how Haley does? Yeah, how he raises havoc. He's always in there grabbing something. His left hand grabbed Phil Sims' right arm just as he was throwing the ball.
Landetta to punt. Kevin Williams back deep for the Cowboys. Sort of a liner. Williams signaled fair catch. Not much of a signal, but it was good enough.
Like Kevin Williams.
Now, Phil Sims is upset about that because he had some things open. He thought he had Callaway open. He thought he probably had something when he didn't have some time there. He's thinking of this. He hasn't been sacked, although he's been hurried 3 times. He's been knocked down 3 times so far. That could make you punch the Gatorade ball. I think he threw one to Callaway there that he should have scored a touchdown on. He thought he should have kept going on another one. He did have one that he threw to Mark Jackson in the end zone that was brought back.
There's Emmett Smith looking for someplace to go. Gets out to about the 19. 2 minutes left to play in the first half. The score in Texas Stadium is the Cowboys 17, the Giants 6.
Hey, MCI friends and family customers, want to see how you could save more with AT&T? Look, most people call the same area code over and over. Well, if you spend $40 a month on long distance, AT&T will give you 25% off our basic prices to that one area code. So if you're a friends and family basic or primetime customer, you could save more with AT&T. Now, write down this number. You'll also get 15% off your other calls, too. So call now and switch. Just another part of the iPlan.
Wouldn't it be great if you were stranded on a desert island with a beautiful woman named Betty? Cool. And while scouting the island, you were suddenly surrounded. You! But then they noticed your shoes. You! Great one! Booga, booga! So they gave you gifts. Keystone, Keystone Light, and Keystone Dry. Specially lined for really smooth. Bottle beer taste and care! Waiting time! Wouldn't that be great?
We'd like to show you our new Achieva Special Edition. Well, for starters, it's got an airbag, 4-wheel anti-lock brakes, air conditioning, automatic transmission, AM/FM stereo, power door locks. Sure, but that's where the really special part comes in. It's your money.
Last night here at Texas Stadium, inside that tent was a reception in honor of Coach Tom Landry. They're seen on the right. That's Crawford Kerr with him. Jerry Jones and Dan Reeves. Don Meredith, Bob Hayes, Dave Manders. Quite an affair honoring Tom Landry, who will be put into the Ring of Honor here at halftime today, and that's where his plaque, his name, will be. Aikman gives to Smith, and Emmett Smith gets out to the 30. Stopped by Carlton Bailey. Myron Guyton.
You know, it's nice to see Tom Landry go in this Ring of Honor and kind of be here today. It's the first time since he was let go by the Cowboys that Tom Landry has been here in the stadium.
First game he's come to.
And you know, it's nice to see. I mean, it's nice to see him kind of come back. Nice to see him in the Ring of Honor, because if there's only one guy that belongs there, of course, it's Tom Landry.
Keith Hamilton is the man who got the sack on Troy Aikman. Cowboys have one timeout left.
You know, that could be a big play going into halftime, because Troy Aikman had really in this first half done everything he wanted to this Giant defense, and maybe this is the start of turning it around.
A minute 21 left to play in the first half.
For this guy, any deodorant will do. But these guys need Speed Stick. Antiperspirant that gives 110%, even if you don't. 24-hour protection against wetness. And now Speed Stick deodorant has a powerful new formula to fight odor. Speed Stick. For movers and shakers, the #1, the only one.
1:21 left to play in the first half as they prepared to get ready for the halftime ceremonies. That was Bob Lilly in the first car.
Well, you talk about a defensive lineman now. There was a great defensive lineman.
To give to Emmett Smith.
Tom Rafferty, who was a long-time center for the Cowboys. There's Bob Lilly.
Bob Lilly's starting to wave before the parade starts. He's practicing his wave and shaking hands and stuff.
He was the first inductee into that Ring of Honor. He made quite a speech last night.
Boy, was he tough to block. You know, you think of pass rushers as being defensive ends in those old four-man lines, and Bob Lilly was a defensive tackle. Funny you see that. Thanks, Mr. Landry. Dan Reeves says is all those years he cannot call him. He cannot call him Tom.
Landry was saying back during the heyday of Bob Lilly, he said they're great linemen, they're outstanding players, but there's only one, Bob Lilly.
Yeah, I remember, you know, he was one of the first great pass rushers inside. There was a tall guy. I mean, remember the defensive tackles used to kind of be short guys.
Yeah. Aikman to Smith. He's fighting for some yards on third down, and now I believe the Giants will take a timeout. Stopped by David Tate. Dan Reeves could not be part of the ceremonies here at the half today honoring Coach Landry, but he did have some thoughts about his former coach.
Well, first of all, Coach, I've got to thank CBS for giving me this opportunity. They know I'm going to be busy at halftime and won't be able to take part in the ceremony. I just want to say congratulations. It'll be nice to come into Texas Stadium now every year and look up and see your name up there where it belongs. You meant so much to so many people. Nobody that you meant more to than me. I thank you for what you've done for me. And from the bottom of my heart, I just say, I love you. Thank you.
Dan Reeves with his quarterback. Phil Simms. Dan said organization, Coach Landry taught him. Preparation. I guess you could just go down a long list.
Yeah, and class. I think, you know, when you think of the Dallas Cowboys and Tom Landry and Dan Reeves, and you just think of the word class.
Jet back to punt it. And Megan deep for the Giants. Kick by Jet. Megan at the 23. Broke away from one tackle and now got some room. Dave Megan to about the 43. 50 seconds left to play in the first half. 53-yard punt by Jet. Good return by Megan.
Yeah, the Giants have made a couple plays here at the end of the half that could give them some momentum going into halftime. That was one we just saw there, but before that on defense when Keith Hamilton got a sack on Troy Aikman. They finally got some pressure there. They finally made something happen defensively in the passing game. Now if they can get a couple of plays here and get something going, then they can go into this halftime feeling pretty good.
Stay with us at the half. We're going to be covering the ceremonies, putting Tom Landry into the Ring of Honor. Here's Sims, the screen pass to Megan. He got one block. Steps out of bounds at midfield. The man in the hat.
Just out of bounds by number 40.
Tom Landry.
Yeah, that's a great memory there. You always think of Texas Stadium and the hole in the roof and a man in a hat, Mr. Landry. A lot of fans still call him Mr. Landry, and I know that all his ex-players still call him Coach Landry.
On second down. 43 seconds now left to play in the first half. Sims hit from behind by Tony Tolbert. And Sims might be hurt.
That was a heck of an effort by Tony Tolbert. That became his backside. Tony Tolbert came from the left side all the way around the horn. I think Phil Sims is trying to go out, but watch Tolbert. He just goes around his blocker, and he just keeps running. Sims had to take himself out. Kent Graham is coming in. See, Tolbert just put that arm up around Sims's neck and just drove him into the turf, and Kent Graham is in at quarterback.
Graham with no time to warm up. Has to take the sack. Pressure from the Cowboys, this time from Jeffcoat. There's Don Meredith looking on.
So much for momentum. I think the Cowboys felt that the Giants may have been getting some, and they just took it away. First it was Tony Tolbert, and then this play it's Jim Jeffcoat. They knocked Phil Sims out of the game. Kent Graham comes in the game, and Jeffcoat says, welcome to the game. I'll tell you, this Cowboy team sure came alive here on defense at the end of this half.
There's Don Perkins. Led the team in rushing every year he was here, I think. Landetta comes on to punt it for the Giants. Chuck Howley, one of the members of that Ring of Honor. Got him in a trade with the Bears. They think that's probably the best deal they ever made.
Yeah, and then Leroy Jordan's here. I saw Leroy Jordan last night. I came over here to the stadium to watch the fight. They had it here on pay-per-view. I'll tell you, we got a lot of stuff going on here for first place. We're talking about Ring of Honor, but that heavyweight championship fight last night was a great fight.
It had its own Ring of Honor. Kevin Williams back deep. Landetta to punt it. Good kick by Landetta. Williams retreats to about the 16. Not much there this time.
49-yard punt, return 7 yards.
Amazing thing about Tom Landry, he didn't change much. Here's the gentleman who succeeded him. They've had 2 head coaches in the history of this franchise. That one and Jimmy Johnson.
The way this one is going, he's going to be in that Ring of Honor someday. In his 5th year, he already has won the Super Bowl championship. He's done a heck of a job, too. I mean, he came in here and really didn't have a heck of a lot going for him and built the championship team. And right now, they still look like they're the best team in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys.
Phil Sims looks as if he is okay. He was stunned a bit. That's the end of the first half with the score. Dallas 17. The Giants 6.
Of the Dallas Cowboys Ring of Honor.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Oldsmobile. AT&T, we help put your world within reach. Speed Stick deodorant and Speed Stick antiperspirant, the #1 for movers and shakers. And by Keystone, Keystone Light and Keystone Dry.
This is Roger Staubach with a special United Way story. It really began 20 years ago when a little girl named Gayla Vaughn faced critical open heart surgery. As a United Way volunteer, I was there, and your contributions to the United Way helped make that life-saving operation possible. Over the past 20 years, the NFL United Way Great Moments Series has shown you how your contributions were working to help families and individuals here in Dallas. Through all those years, we've seen Gayla turn into a beautiful and talented young lady. And we saw all her dreams come true when she married Mike Denton. And now looking back over those 20 years, I want you to meet Gayla today. By the time you see the spot, Gayla will be a new mom caring for her child.
I can only say thanks to each of you who give to the United Way. Thanks and God bless all of you from the bottom of my heart.
Now more than ever, the United Way, helping where help is needed most.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
Remember the last time we came to Chili's? You got the
chicken nachos.
Right, they were great, and then you had the
chicken fajitas.
Right, I remember how much you liked them, and I had the
grilled chicken.
Right, with the
fresh steamed vegetables.
Remember our waitress? Remember what you said to her?
Check, please.
Yes, right. That was at the end of our meal. Oh man, our first trip here. Oh, I'll never forget it.
It was yesterday.
That's right. It was. I remember. Man, it was great.
On the one hand, we gave it a wider stance for better handling, a computer model suspension, and specially designed 16-inch tires. So, a pair of these could come in handy. On the other hand, we've thoughtfully designed each knob, button, and switch to be easily operated while you're wearing a pair of these. New Dodge Ram. The rules have changed.
We're taking Texas by the horns, so see your Texas Dodge dealer today.
From Brussels to Budapest, Milan to Munich, Delta gives you more non-stops to more cities in Europe than any other airline in the world. 239 weekly flights, 21 countries. More Europe, more often. Nobody gives you more of Europe than Delta Airlines.
The NFL Today Dockers halftime report is sponsored by new Loose Fit Dockers. Nobody does pants like Dockers.
The Dallas Cowboys lead 17-6 at halftime. Welcome back to our studios here in New York, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Terry Bradshaw and Matt Millen. It is halftime, and there is an emotional moment about to unfold in Texas Stadium as former coach Tom Landry is about to be inducted into the Dallas Cowboys Ring of Honor. Let's go back out there live to join public address announcer Murphy Martin and our own Pat Summerall.
Halftime at Texas Stadium as we get ready for the induction of Coach Tom Landry into the Ring of Honor. The members of the Ring of Honor have been chauffeured around the field, as has Tom Landry. The Cowboys lead the Giants 17-6. And there is the man in the hat.
You so many great moments from Texas Stadium through the years. From CBS Sports, Pat Summerall.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here to honor some very special people, the members of the Ring of Honor. These are the people that made the Cowboys America's team. So let's, one more time, introduce them to you. First of all, inducted in 1975, defensive tackle Bob Lilly. Next to him, inducted in 1976, quarterback Don Meredith. Also in 1976, running back Don Perkins. Next, linebacker Chuck Howley. Inducted in 1981, defensive back Mel Renfro. Inducted in 1983, quarterback Roger Staubach. And in 1989, linebacker Leroy Jordan. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Cowboys owner and president, Mr. Jerry Jones.
Coach Landry. Coach Landry, the only coach the Cowboys had for 29 years, 270 victories, 13 playoffs, 20 straight winning seasons, 5 NFC championships, 5 Super Bowl appearances, and 2 Super Bowl wins. That great record is only transcended by the fact that you represent for sports what we all in sports would like to be represented, and that is a higher cause and a bigger meaning. You've done it all on a competitive basis. We honor you here today. Our Ring of Honor stands for the men who built this franchise and had it called America's Team. That's what it stands for. This would not be the Ring of Honor without you, Coach Landry, and also you in it. Congratulations to be in the Ring of Honor, Coach Landry. Here's our...
Well, I want to say that this is really an outstanding day for me, personally. I don't know how you can thank all the people that are responsible for putting this thing on here, but I do think that this is one of the great times. I'm honored to be in the Ring of Honor in there. You know, as I look at those names up here and these guys here that I'm so proud of here, it was amazing what they contributed, you know, to the winning seasons that we had. You know, when you take Don Meredith and Don Perkins, who started out with that team that started at 0-11-1, boy, we were really moving in those days, you know. And they took a lot of beating through the years in there. And of course, Bob Lilly was our first pick in the draft that we had, and he went through a lot of those tough seasons with the Green Bay Packers and all. I remember when we got our first Super Bowl with Baltimore, and we thought we had the game won, and we thought we would finally win, and they kicked the field goal to beat us, and Bob picked up his helmet and threw it about 70 yards. He threw it further than our passer could throw it in that particular game in there. But these guys are all great. Mel Renfro, tremendous person. Chuck Howley was the most valuable player in our first Super Bowl win on defense, and that's one of the few times that ever happened in there. But I tell you, when you take Roger Staubach, when you watch him play, everybody was on the edge of their seat. I tell you, and every time that Roger was there. Of course, we know that, you know, really with Leroy Jordan was one of the smallest middle linebackers in the league, but he was one of the best in there. You know, I think it's a tremendous thing. I know that we wouldn't be here. I know I wouldn't be here, or they wouldn't be here, if it wasn't for all the other players. We had the alumni in this weekend, all those guys and the coaches and all that did so much for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm just sorry that today that Clint Murkison, the late Clint Murkison, is not here. He would have enjoyed this day tremendously because he was a great owner in there. And of course, with his leadership, with Clint's leadership and Tex Schramm's leadership, we set our sails in what we did through all those years, and it made it possible that we could achieve those things. We had a lot of people, we had a great organization, and we had a lot of good people working for us in those days. And I would like to really take this opportunity, since the New York Giants, my old team, I played for the New York Giants and the Cowboys through all these years, and I'd like to thank Wellington Mayer and Ann Mayer, who have been great friends of mine through the years. They prepared me with the New York Giants, you know, to become the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And so I'm just delighted to be here today, and I want to thank Jerry for all he's done to make this a special day. Thank you very much.
So congratulations to Tom Landry and to the other members of the Dallas Cowboys Ring of Honor. Halftime activities will continue after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
The Clinton plan for health care reform.
What does this all mean to you?
The CBS Evening News, team to cover your world.
Next Sunday, America's favorite show celebrates 25 years of history-making reporting. Relive the moments in a special 2-hour 60 Minutes. Then, America's beloved saga continues, an epic television event with an all-star cast. Return to Lonesome Dove. Next Sunday, don't miss 2 incredible legends only on CBS. This is CBS.
The price of freedom just came down with the new 1994 Chrysler LeBaron convertible. V6 power, air, automatic, driver and front passenger airbags, all complete for this. Now you can have your head in the clouds and still keep your feet on the ground. The new 1994 Chrysler LeBaron convertible, an eloquent expression of form following function.
It's morning at Boston Chicken. Fresh vegetables are arriving, and we're making our mashed potatoes from scratch. Throughout the day, we're roasting chicken that's been marinated overnight, sliding cornbread into the oven, and putting the finishing touches on our homemade chicken pot pies. So it's always fresh, and it's always ready at Boston Chicken. Boston Chicken, the freshest thing going. Take out a freshly prepared individual meal starting at just $3.99.
Okay, now we'll need to find a new bank, daycare center, dentist.
And a chiropractor for my back. Oh, all these boxes.
We need everything.
The Everything Pages directory from GTE, where you'll find everything.
When it came time to design a lease program for the new Accord, we dropped everything.
Raiders of the Red Sea on News 4 Extra, Monday at 10 on Night Beat.
Halftime at Texas Stadium. Cowboys 17, the Giants 6. Tom Landry in the Ring of Honor at Texas Stadium at the half.
Things seemed kind of quiet around the office until somebody discovered new loose-fit Dockers. Seems Dockers had found a way to give a guy a little more style and a little more comfort. Pretty soon, even the cool guys up in legal were wearing new loose-fit Dockers, which didn't surprise anyone. After all, nobody does pants like Dockers.
So what's this new deal?
2 pizzas.
2 pizzas. Write that down.
And on the 2 pizzas, choose any topping up to 5.
Do you
have to pick the same topping on each pizza? No.
Then the possibilities are endless.
What do you mean? 5 plus 5 are 10.
Actually, there are 1,048,576 possibilities.
10 was just a ballpark figure. You got that right.
Little Caesar's favorite 5. Not 1, but 2 pizzas. Choice of 5 toppings, $7.98.
Pizza.
Tonight, Murder, She Wrote celebrates its 200th episode.
I believe I know what this is all about.
Mickey Rooney guest stars on a riveting, all-new Murder, She Wrote. Then,
Sam, can you feel me?
With all my heart.
Demi Moore, Patrick Swayze, and Oscar winner Whoopi Goldberg in America's favorite love story, Ghost. Tonight. Extra, extra! Wood and Evan take a paper route to rediscover their youth.
Yeah!
But who will survive?
Look out!
All New Evening Shade, Monday.
Our turn.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Toyota, makers of the exciting all-new Celica. Watch out, it's here. Little Caesar's Pizza, where you always get 2 great pizzas for 1 low price. Energizer brand batteries. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going and going. And by Sprint.
Back at Texas Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden. The Cowboys lead the Giants 17-6. Just about set to start the third quarter. He may have started more than the third quarter.
It doesn't take them long, does it?
No, it doesn't.
They have a ceremony, they induct it. The next thing you have is a mask out there.
Somehow, I think they planned ahead.
Yeah, there's the mask and no hat, and there's the hat and no mask.
Murray's kick to make it. He will stay in the end zone. Halftime statistics. Pretty even. 9 first downs apiece. Look at that time of possession. That's pretty close, too.
Well, you know, the Dallas Cowboys had it the first quarter and, you know, won all that time of possession and everything in the first quarter. And then the Giants came back and got most of their stuff in the second quarter. And the thing that hurt them is when they were getting that time of possession, they only got 6 points.
That's what happened to him last week against the Jets. Here's Sims to Tillman. Lewis Tillman hit from the side and hit hard, but a 6-yard gain hit by Woodson.
Now there's a guy who can hit you. You know, some safeties tackle you, and some of them hit you. And the thing about Woodson, you know, he used to be a linebacker, so he's kind of one of those guys who was half a linebacker and half a defensive back. And when he hits you with what they call decleaters. Tillman's cleats came boom right out of the ground.
He's about 220. 2nd and 3, and a safety man at that size, like those two from Denver. The handoff is to Punch, short of the first down by perhaps a yard.
He's met by a bunch. Yeah, he's playing well in there is Russell Maryland anytime they run in there. And it's amazing. He has 2 bad big toes. In fact, he was showing us that one. He showed us his left big toe, and it comes out, and it starts out like starts straight, and it turns left. So when he points with his left foot, his left toe never hits the ground. It all goes to that second toe in there.
Looks like a bumpy interstate.
He said he's always going to have problems. He had one foot operated on.
Phil Sims didn't like what he saw, took a timeout, and he'll come over to the sideline. 17-6, Dallas leading.
Introducing one of the most visually distinct automobiles you've ever seen, and the most technologically advanced Celica Toyota has ever created. The all-new Toyota Celica, with sophisticated safety systems, available ABS, standard driver and passenger side airbags. But despite all this technology, when people see the new Celica, there's only one thing that keeps coming to mind. Watch out, it's here.
Oh, Mr. Energizer Bunny, out for a stroll.
My matter desolidificator will put an end to your precious little source of power.
Your hippity-hoppity days are over.
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer battery. It keeps going and going.
This is your life. This is your world. This is your chance. You gotta be there now.
Since Sprint is the only global phone company that offers everything, local, long distance, and cellular, it means with Sprint, no matter where you go, there you are.
13-38 as the third quarter has just begun. Look at some of the other scores. San Diego over Minnesota. New England ahead of Buffalo. Denver shutting out Cleveland. Here at Texas Stadium, it's 17-6. Dallas over the Giants. Third and short. to midfield.
I'll tell you, the guy that made that play was Jumbo Elliott. Did he fire out? Jumbo Elliott looked like he was just shot out of a gun. I mean, that's the way you do it in short yardage. You just watch Jumbo Elliott get right in here and push it. You get this first movement right there, and then that's going to make a hole. But watch that fire out. Boom, right there. The tight end coming down. I'll tell you, that really created a hole. I mean, the tight end and the left tackle firing out.
Cross and Elliott. This is Tillman again. Slung down by Tony Tolbert.
When you have those two guys on the same side, when you put Howard Cross, who's a good blocking tight end, and you put him right next to Jumbo Elliott, who is a good run blocker, you're going to find some creases in there. And the two of them just flew that Cowboy defensive line off the line.
Jumbo is well named. He's used. 2nd and 10. Megan. That's Jackson in motion and sends back the throw. Outside to Megan. And out of bounds by Norton.
That's complete to number 30, out of bounds by number 51.
There's Lawrence Taylor. It's a frustrating time for LT.
Well, it sure is. I mean, remember last year he had the Achilles tendon and thought that was the end of his career, and he rehabbed that in the offseason and came back. And this year he has a pull hamstring that just can't get better. And you remember what he used to be, and you know that he remembers what he used to be, and it has to be tough for him and for everyone watching.
3rd down and about 3. They're showing blitz. Washington came up, jumped back, and still keeps coming. And down goes Sims. Jeff Tote. Jimmy Jones. And Chad Hennings close by.
You know, they played the game right up to the end, and you just watch him. You see what happens here is they're showing him here. They're showing a blitz right here. They're showing a blitz right here. They're showing a blitz here. They're jumping in and out of it, and then what that happens is everyone gets a guy. Jimmy Jones comes on a stunt, and no one blocks Jimmy Jones.
So Landeta goes back deep to punt to Kevin Williams.
That was a game within a game that the Cowboys won.
Good kick by Landeta. Going to handle it at the 2. Around the corner, almost knocked out by Diassi is Kevin Williams. 47-yard punt by Landeta.
Back at the 18-yard line.
Classic television. Hogan's Heroes.
Green Acres.
Arnold Zip. Who played him? Nobody. He was the pig. Remember Family Affair?
Mr. French.
I loved him.
Hey.
He's attractive.
Pete, Link, Julie. Okay, Ginger or Mary Ann?
Ginger was a bimbo.
Mary Ann. Mary Ann or Jeannie?
Beechwood aged Budweiser.
Jeannie.
Crisp, clean, classic.
When you order a Bigfoot pizza from Pizza Hut, remember to order some Pepsi, or you'll be making a mistake. A very big mistake. So when you order Bigfoot, don't forget to ask for plenty of Pepsi. Bigfoot Pizza, a legendary value.
Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Look to us for special delivery. Call us. We'll arrange to pick you up at your home, office, or repair shop. That's special delivery. That's Enterprise.
Between the wonder of how it begins and the mystery of where it ends.
I'm looking for a miracle here. You believe in miracles?
Lies the experience of all our lives.
I'm gonna repeat this thing, yeah?
From the makers of Ghost. My Life. Rated PG-13. At theaters Friday.
How far would you go to become famous? We'll show you what it takes. A behind-the-scenes look at fame on an all-new 48 Hours Wednesday.
17-6, Dallas leading the Giants. 11:46 left to play in the 3rd quarter.
I bet you Lawrence Taylor had a talk with Dan Reeves at halftime, and probably with Mike Nolan, the defensive coordinator, said, look, we're down 17-6. I'm waiting for those pass rush situations. I feel good. How about just let me play on first down? And now we see him in there on first down.
That's Harper in motion. This is Emmitt Smith. And just a couple. We're talking and did talk throughout the first half about how well Aikman was throwing the ball. He's only missed once, John.
Yeah, and that one was 7 out of 8 under 10 yards, and that was tipped at the line of scrimmage. And if it weren't tipped, he was perfect. 1 for 1 between 10 and 19. 1 for 1, 20 to 29. And of course, 1 for 1, 40 yards deep. That was an equal to Alvin Harper against that double zone.
Assuming he has time, here's the next one. That was almost picked off. Mark Collins read that perfectly.
And that's what you have to watch out for with that double zone, because that corner can do that. He can jump in front of you because he knows that he has his safety back in there behind him. I'll tell you, Lawrence Taylor doesn't have a chance when he's going against big Eric Williams at that tackle. He took one shot at Williams, who I think is the best tackle in football. He took one shot at him and decided he'd go back.
He started in the other direction in a hurry.
I know it. That guy, Eric Williams, he'll put you in another direction in a hurry.
Aikman back to throw. To Emmitt Smith. He shook one tackle, and Smith goes up to the 40. Just outside the 40, Dallas first down.
And that was David Tate. David Tate had the tackle, and he just missed it. Watch him here. Aikman is looking. Smith comes on a cross. Now that should have been a 2-yard gain. David Tate just misses a tackle right there. Of course, a guy like Emmitt Smith has a little something to do with it. Watch how he uses his arm. He just puts the ball in his left hand, takes the right arm there, and puts it up there, and then pushes Tate off. So part of it was poor tackling by Tate, good running by Smith.
On first down, Aikman chased out of the pocket. First down again, more for Aikman. Down to the Giant 40. 19-yard ramble.
And you got to give credit to Jay Novacek for that one. That would have been about a 5-yard gain if it weren't for Jay Novacek. His tight end makes a block out there for him in the left. Watch it. He's going to start here. He's going to go play pass. He's trying to throw in the middle. In fact, he had a guy open in the middle. He couldn't see, but watch right there. Boom. See, Novacek. In fact, Novacek got 2 blocks. And that gave Aikman a long gainer.
The last one on Lawrence Taylor. First down. Flags and whistles.
Ball start. Offense number 66. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Gogan. Too soon that time. Earlier in the game, you might remember he was late. In fact, he didn't get started one time.
Well, that was when he was a tight end. And this one when he's a guard. It's funny, Kevin Gogan came in there when John Giesick, who was his starting right guard, was hurt. And then Giesick got healthy, and he just can't get back in there. We were talking to Jimmy Johnson. He said, you know, I was talking about that rule that you can't lose your job to an injury. You always wonder whoever said that.
Who started that rule?
Yeah, I don't remember a rule.
But you remember last year, whenever we did a Cowboy game, they would always say that John Giesick grades out better than anybody.
Yeah, he did. One of the officials is injured, Pat, and he's sitting down on the Giant bench. Like the Giant trainers are working on him right there.
Side judge.
And they're taking his shoe and then his sock off. I'll be looking at his ankle. You know, the officials can make an adjustment, which they're going to do, and go one official short. In fact, they're checking his Achilles tendon is what they were doing there, but they've made their adjustment now.
Here's Aikman. A lot of time. And finally slides down. He's chased by Keith Hamilton. Aikman shaking a bit.
I don't know that he didn't pull something there, Pat. I mean, you know, he's run a couple times in a row. He got that big one over on the left side when he got the block from Jay Novacek. And on that one, right at the end, he looked like he kind of jerked and maybe pulled something. You know, he does have a bad back. See, and this had nothing to do with a hit, but you can watch, you can see the grimace on his face right there. You see it right there? He pulled something right there. That had nothing, it looks like a hamstring, but remember, he did have back surgery in the offseason.
And he did come back in a hurry.
And you know, he's running more probably in his last 5 minutes than he's run in a long time, and it's right there. You just see it. That looks like a hamstring.
Gotta be. Yeah, you saw him grab.
Yeah, as he started to roll over, but that's
left hamstring.
Yeah, there's no good hamstring, but when you go down and stay down like that, that's a bad hamstring. The good kind is the kind you kind of think, oh, I think I have a cramp, and it turns into a hamstring.
If you look back at that play, Eric Williams didn't throw a block. If he had, he would have clipped Hamilton. And he used good judgment not throwing. He just sort of tried to shield him.
Yeah, and then Aikman had to outrun Hamilton. We're working on the official taping his ankle or Achilles, and Aikman's up on the other side.
9.5 left in the third.
I don't think there's any family who wants to have to go to somebody else to feed their children. Hunger exists in every community. Hunger really cuts across every segment of society. We know what the answer is, and the answer is to feed people. It's going to take a lot to solve hunger in this country. We're grateful for American Express card member support in helping to provide a meal every time they use the card.
You can help. Use the American Express card to join the Charge Against Hunger till December 31st.
Since Toyota truck reliability and dependability are put to the test in America, Toyota said, build them here, too. You know what? Most are. But the ultimate test is right here. Toyota 100,000-mile storage, over 60,000 of them, and more coming every day. Toyota trucks, the reliability's built in. Toyota trucks. You just gotta love them.
Who makes the only TV with the smart sound feature, which ensures your volume will stay at normal levels, even when something like this comes on?
Magnavox. Smart. Very smart.
Yes! No use shouting, old man.
If your business gives up AT&T quality, chasing after big savings from another long-distance company, don't expect to find a pot of gold. Leaving AT&T doesn't make a lot of sense.
Tuesday on CBS, Bruce Willis in the box office smash that's guaranteed to blow you out of your seat. Die Hard 2, Tuesday, contains some violent scenes.
That's Troy Aikman headed for the locker room. That's got to be hamstring. Jason Garrett, in the meantime, is the quarterback for Dallas, number 17.
We did a preseason game against the Houston Oilers, and Jason Garrett looked real good.
Second and 19. Garrett hits his first pass to Emmitt Smith.
Jason Garrett's pass is complete to Emmitt Smith at the 41-yard line.
No more media.
Emmitt Smith headed back to the... Jason Garrett is the guy they call Rudy. After the movie. Officially, it is a left hamstring strain for Aikman.
Yeah, it sure looked like it. I mean, you could see, you know, when we had that close-up of the grimace on his face, and admitted it had nothing to do with a hit or a contact or a twist. It just had to do with a pull of something.
Here's Garrett. Completes again to Emmitt Smith. David Tate on the stop.
Yeah, they called Jason Garrett Rudy because he was the guy that wasn't expected to make this team. Remember, they lost Steve Berline as a backup in the offseason. Then they brought Hugh Millen in. They thought he would be the backup, and in essence, Jason Garrett beat Hugh Millen out in training camp. Not only made the team, but is the backup quarterback.
Murray to try a field goal of about 54.5 yards with Novacek holding. Not much of a rush. Underneath. the crossbar, no good. And the Giants will take over. 7:52 left in the third quarter. 17-6 Dallas.
My family has been brewing beer around here for 120 years. Every now and then, I think that's a big accomplishment. That's when it's time to come out here. It's nice to get a little perspective.
DeskJet printers from Hewlett-Packard. It's easy to make it happen.
Last night I dreamt about it again. The number 7. It was everywhere like a cosmic signpost urging me on. Maybe it meant that the 7 layers of bliss were within reach. Rice, beans, sour cream, lettuce, pepper, cheese, tomatoes, and guacamole. Only 99 cents. New at Taco Bell. The 7-layer burrito. People say if your dream's too big, you won't get it. You can get it, but only for a limited time.
Cross it.
Tonight on CBS, today the little guy his mother calls a monster is imprisoned for assault with a deadly weapon. This LA gang leader's command of the English language has made him a cool $250,000 for his autobiography. That's on 60 Minutes tonight, followed by Murder, She Wrote, and the CBS Sunday movie, Ghost. First down, Giants at their own 37. Dallas leading 17-6, punch in motion, pitch back to Tillman. Tillman. Short of the 40 by Dixon Edwards. It's the Giants in their first 6 possessions. They've had a punt 4 times. They've got the 2 field goals.
Yeah, and of course that's the thing with that, that possession, that running game, that ball control. It all works if you score or if the other team doesn't score. I'll tell you, they have a little advantage now, I think, with Troy Aikman out of there, because he was 11 out of 13, and he's in the locker room now. They're going to be playing Jason Garrett.
Here's Sims back to throw. Under an avalanche of rushers. Down he goes, and it's incomplete. Right now, let's send you to New York for an NFL update with Greg Gumbel.
All right, Pat, and in Pontiac, here's the only touchdown of the day between the Lions and the Bucs. Rodney Peete finds clear sailing up the middle for 9 yards and a touchdown. Detroit leading Tampa Bay 13-0. Just over a minute to play in the third quarter. Pat?
At Texas Stadium, it's 17-6, the Cowboys leading. Here's the pressure on Sims.
Yeah, and this is where they're having problem now. They're having problem pass protection. Russell Maryland just made a heck of a move there on Pardos. I mean, he went into him, gave him that swing move. Boom, he was right on Sims.
3rd and 7. McCaffrey, it appears, has a Giant first down. Sims saw him coming that time.
Yeah, this is going to be where they spot that one, because McCaffrey had that right at the first down marker. It's where that official puts his foot down.
The 47-yard line.
They will measure. Less than 7 minutes left now in the third quarter. Aikman is gone. We think a strained hamstring, left hamstring. He's in for examination. Now they're going to measure and see.
They have to bring the chains in from the other side. That one sideline just has the markers. This sideline had to change.
First down. I'm going to stretch it out. They stretched as far as they could.
You know, some of those markers are the ugliest things in football, aren't they? I mean, the way you wonder where they stay during the week. Like, where does something like this hang out during the week? It look like they just stick it into some dirt or something.
They don't take a bath. No bath.
They don't hose them down.
No. Here's Tillman. Into Cowboy territory, stopped by Ken Norton. Darren Smith was also there.
The Giants are running the ball pretty well, and they look like they're run blocking pretty well. The problem that they're having right now is pass protecting for Phil Simms, because it looks like Simms can complete some things if he can get some time. And from right at the end of the half and this quarter so far, he's having a problem getting time.
Especially Russell Maryland right up the middle, putting on a lot of heat. That's Tillman. He didn't get much.
And they tried to run right at Russell Maryland, and he's not only a good pass rusher, but he's a strong guy against a run block.
Well, you know, Jimmy Johnson said to us when you were asking about his health, that he said, well, he's got bad feet. But even with bad feet, he's better than most.
But you see how he plays there? I mean, the center blocks back. Roberts comes down on him. Boom, he just puts both hands out on Roberts, stops him, and makes the play.
This for a guy, a young man who didn't even want to play football.
Now, his father had to talk him into it. Almost didn't get a scholarship. He weighed 320 pounds in high school.
The blitz worked this time. Norton all over Sims.
That's where the Giants are having the problems. They're having their problems with pass protection. We're going to see Norton right here. He's lining up here. Washington's here to fake the blitz. And Norton just comes right up the middle. Roberts blocks down. He should have blocked Norton. He came down. Maybe he was called down, but he came down and Norton went boom right by him.
Landetta back to punt again. Kevin Williams standing back at about the 11. Signals fair catch, makes it at about the 21 or 22. So Dallas will take over there with Jason Garrett as their quarterback. 5:06 left in the third.
Besides being an educator, Jim Elkins is a collector of antiques and an occasional Montana trout. Having owned a dozen Toyota cars, Jim naturally made the T100 his first Toyota truck. Your typical big truck owner? No. But then the T100 is not your typical truck. Observe the Detroit Free Press. The cabin reminds one of the Toyota Camry in equipment and comfort. The Toyota T100 puts you in a whole new class.
Save right now. Buy 3 Goodyear tires at the regular price, get the 4th tire free. That's right. Buy any 3 of these Goodyear tires at the regular price and get the 4th free. 4 for 3 now. Hurry, sale ends soon.
My dandruff and itch are awful. I'll try anything. Denorex tingles. Head and Shoulders doesn't.
Both have effective dandruff medicine, but Denorex has something extra that tingles.
That's why I started using Denorex. No flakes, no itch.
Denorex, the serious dandruff shampoo.
Lasers. Satellites. Cellular data networks. What exactly have we launched here? UPS Total Track. The only tracking system that can confirm delivery of your air and designated ground packages coast to coast in seconds.
The package was signed for at 9:26 this morning by Mr.
The arms race may be over, but the package race is just heating up.
Tonight,
Sam, can you feel me?
With all my heart.
Demi Moore, Patrick Swayze, and Oscar winner Whoopi Goldberg star in America's favorite love story, Ghost.
But here's what you can't do. You can't have the back going that way and slide your line this way, him block out here, because there's no way you can block that guy. So they should have either kept the back on that side or kept Roberts in there. Now, you want to see how quick it happens to a quarterback? Watch that. Boom. You say, why didn't he do this? Why didn't he do that? Then you see in real time how quickly it happens.
Let's see what happens to this quarterback. He gives the ball to Emmett Smith. That's a wise choice. Jason Garrett has replaced Aikman, stopped by Bailey.
Yeah, we talked about Jason Garrett and being the long shot to make the team. He's an Ivy League player. In fact, he was a great Ivy League player. He was the quarterback from Princeton. His dad was a coach. I remember when his dad was a coach. His dad is now a scout. Yeah. He had a couple of brothers who were good players. So he's really from a football family that went to Ivy League school.
To the Moose. Darrell Johnston trying for the first down. Crazy Ray has got something else on his head now. Oh, that's Kenny Gant's shark.
Yeah, Kenny Gant, you know, he has a whole thing. He has those hats you can wear, that shark defense. He got a shark tank. He got T-shirts. He got baseball caps. He has everything. And there he is. He's the guy that covers kicks, and he's a nickel defensive back.
Got a great smile to go with it.
Like Michael Irvin says, don't rock the boat until you get on it. He says Kenny Gant's on it. He's rocking it.
Corey Miller stopped him at Smith. The flag on the play.
And 4 on the play before he is stopped by 4.
Against Dallas. There's number 79. You wonder why he's such a good tackle, because he's so big. You see the size of that guy?
Offense, number 66. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. First down.
That was number 66, Kevin Gogan. Look at the size of those guys. I mean, that right side, Gogan, he's about 330 pounds, and Williams is about 330 pounds. And you wonder if you have to rush over those guys, you know that you're not going through those guys.
You better go around.
You better go around and hope they don't get their hands on you.
First down. Garrett back to throw it. To Darrell Johnston. Mark Collins knocked him out of bounds.
I'll tell you one thing about Jason Garrett, for a young guy, just that picture up there, he really looks cool. I mean, again, I think this helps coming from a football family. He's been around it all his life, and he may be nervous, he may be tense, he may be excited, he may even be scared, but he's not showing anyone.
He's 3 out of 3. And you know he's nervous. You know he's scared.
Usually when you lick your fingers, you're going to throw the ball. Usually quarterbacks lick their fingers, and the next play is a pass.
That's a pretty good sign. Flag on the play, however, as whistles start.
We used to always key that. We would stand, you know, try and call our plays, and then watch a quarterback, and he'd come out and lick his fingers.
Ball start. Offense, number 80, simulating the start of a play. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Did you really think that was a tough decision? If they lick their fingers?
If they lick their fingers? Oh, well, then you always worry about the guy that's going to lick his fingers and then throw a draw or something, you know. And my guys are all rushing the passer, and the runner runs right by him. But I know one thing, that the Cowboys have 6 penalties, and the 2 things Jimmy Johnson hates, like I said before, are penalties and turnovers.
Second down. Here's Garrett back to throw. Incomplete. Intended for Irvin. With Cross from the slot on the left side.
You know, Michael Irvin caught a couple of passes in the first quarter, and he hasn't caught one since. In fact, I think the way the Giants play their normal defense, that loose umbrella defense, that double zone, that kind of takes a read away. It takes the outside receivers away from the quarterback's reads and makes them go to underneath. I think that's why we see so many passes to the backs and tight ends today for the Cowboys.
3rd and 17 for the first down. Garrett to throw it. Novacek out of bounds. Well short of the first down, knocked out by David Tate.
And the Giants should get the ball back in pretty good position, and the Giants can run the ball, and if they could just get some pass protection, they may be able to pass it, but that's the thing that's been letting them down.
Dave Beckett, number 30, the long safety for the Giants at their 20-yard line.
Landetta, beg your pardon. John Jett back to punt. Megan back deep for the Giants. Jett's kick is a good one. Megan has to look into the sun. And as down at about the 24 by Matt Vanderbeek. For an NFL update, let's send you again back to our New York studios. Greg Gumbel.
All right, Pat, at Pontiac, Barry Sanders having another fine day running the football, 155 yards. He sets up this 1-yard plunge by Derek Moore. Early in the fourth quarter, the Lions lead Tampa Bay 20-0. Pat and John.
Late in the third quarter at Texas Stadium, Dallas still leads the Giants 17-6. The winner of this goes into first place in the NFC East. Sims back to Tillman. The pursuit is good. Norton and Tolbert are there quickly.
You know, Kenny Norton, they were worried about Kenny Norton with that torn bicep, whether he was going to be able to play or whether he had to have surgery. Now, he had two options. If he had surgery, he'd have to miss the entire season. And if he doesn't have surgery, of course, he has to play with the torn bicep, then have surgery in the offseason, which will be a more difficult surgery. He decided to play, and today, you know, I mean, he's having a problem holding that one arm around, but he looks like he's playing real well.
Playing very well. This is Megan. Megan at about the 28.
Outside the 25 here, the 28-yard line.
Like I said earlier, the Giants are able to run the ball and run block, and here's where they're having the problem. Sims has been sacked 3 times, hurried 4 times, been knocked down 6 times. He hasn't thrown an interception, though, and that's big. I mean, he's been able to keep that thing clean, but this is where he needs the pass protection.
He never has been a guy who's thrown many interceptions. Third down. 4 wide receivers. Sims, look out from behind. He does get rid of it. But the pressure again was there by Dallas. And they'll have to punt.
Yeah, that's another knockdown. I mean, as good as this offensive line is, it's not doing a good job of pass protection today. You see Riesenberg there. He was beaten right off the bat by Haley. That was the first thing that happened. And then Jeffcoat is in there, and just everyone was getting all over him.
And here comes Aikman back.
You're going to have to guide me.
Out of shoulder pads, out of uniform.
Yeah, that's the good news. He's coming back. The bad news is he doesn't have his football uniform on.
Right. Landetta's kick is short this time and high. Fielded by Williams. And he's got some room. Chased by Landetta. Landetta got an arm on him. I don't know if he tripped him or waved him out of bounds.
I don't know what he did, or maybe he gave him a push.
No more fresh information. Here's a tackle.
No, that's nothing. Although he did get a hand on him. But a hand like that shouldn't make you do that. I'll tell you, if you're a punt returner, first of all, the punter shouldn't be able to tackle you. But if he gets a hand on you, you shouldn't go down with that. That's very embarrassing.
Dallas will take over at the Giant 49. Jason Garrett, the quarterback. Aikman just came back a moment ago. Walked back, but walked back limping. Newton in front of Emmett Smith. Big Nate got somebody down and then fell on him.
Yeah, Big Nate can get out there and move. I mean, you look at Big Nate, you say he's 320 pounds, but he can move that 320 pounds.
That's the end of the third quarter with the score. Dallas 17, the Giants 6. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
This is CBS.
The whole day is busy. It's just a real busy, ongoing, high energy type of day. When they go down for their nap, that's when I get my break. And I get them in and out of the car quite frequently during the day, and that takes a lot of energy, just getting them all outside. The shorter trip is definitely the better.
You could use a little help. What do you say?
My 2 favorite times in the day are seeing their shining faces in the morning and putting them to bed at night.
Hurry into Circuit City now for unbeatable low prices on top-rent audio, video, computers, and appliances. Get an IBM 486SX computer for just $949.97. These Bose loudspeakers, only $49.97 each. This JVC VHS camcorder, now $499.97. And this Magnavox 25-inch stereo TV, a low $297.97.
Welcome to Circuit City, where service is state-of-the-art.
Cowboys starting at the 20-yard line. Here's the snap.
My God, Chris, there's a hole big enough to drive a truck through.
That's exactly what they're doing.
It looks like they suited up the new Ford F-150 Cowboys limited edition.
Look at that baby go. Cowboys collars, badging, and a special Cowboys package complete with his and her jackets and more.
But with only a limited number available, fans better hurry to their Ford dealer.
You know, Bud, the Cowboys have not lost a game with a truck in the lineup.
Can they do that?
Raiders of the Red Sea on News 4 Extra, Monday at 10 on Night Beat.
Back at Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys lead 17-6, as Pat Summerall mentioned, Troy Aikman has returned to the field. He changed into warm-ups. He told Dr. Robert Vandermeer he wanted to watch the rest of the game from the field. He does have a slightly strained left hamstring. They treated it with ice. Dr. Vandermeer said it is possible that he will return next week. Pat?
Thank you, Leslie. There's Troy Aikman, conversing and back on the sideline with his teammates. 2nd and 6. Garrett gets it outside to Smith again.
The other thing about Aikman that he wanted to come back out on the field and watch the rest of this game. You can tell that he didn't even comb his hair.
You know, it's funny you had not funny. That's the wrong choice of words for me. But you asked him yesterday how he was feeling. He said, I feel better than I have in a long time. But shoulders okay, the ribs are okay, the back is fine, and now he gets a hamstring.
Yeah, and I think he started feeling too good about that running. You know, he'd run a play on the left and gained about 10 or 20 yards, and then he went to the play on the right and pulled the hamstring.
3rd and 2. Emmett Smith. Emmett inside the 20 to about the 18. One of the Giants who made the tackle is down. Greg Jackson, Mark Collins. That's Collins down.
Yeah, one thing about Emmitt Smith, they just keep bringing him at you all day. This is that lead draw. It's a little delayed play, a good lead block by Johnston. Again, there's Alvin Harper getting just a little block out in the front, and Mark Collins gets hurt when he hits Emmitt Smith.
The good block by Johnston set up the whole big gainer. 17-6.
It seems these days folks are taking a new look at their priorities. With that in mind, Chevy brings you the roomiest full-size pickup ever made, so that family can come first and work second. The extended cab from Chevrolet. Chevy, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
A convict.
Put the gun down, old-timer. Couldn't hit me anyway. Probably shoot the boy.
A cop.
This is not a penal escape situation. This happens to be a manhunt.
A hostage.
You're not bad, are you, Booch?
Oh, yeah.
That will make one of them
We got an armed killer and an innocent boy out there.
a hero.
Hold on.
Kevin Costner. Clint Eastwood. A Perfect World. Directed by Clint Eastwood. Rated PG-13. Starts November 24th everywhere.
You build a new razor with precision heads to shave below the skin in comfort. And what do you get? Cut a precision groove to help the Norelco lift and cut system shave even closer. And what do you get? Build a razor that shaves closer, smoother than ever before. And what do you get? The new Norelco razors. Our closest shave ever.
Corporate sponsor of this game.
Mark Collins is the injured Giant player. That's Dan Reeves with his back to you. Let's go back and see if we can figure out how he got hurt.
Well, first of all, it's excellent block, and watch Eric Williams. He takes his man out, takes his man in here. Gogan does. Then here's the big block. Daryl Johnston leads here. Emmitt Smith gives a little delay and then pops the ball right through here. And of course, Mark Collins is going to get hurt on the tackle. But watch Eric Williams turn his guy. Boom, right there. Daryl Johnston makes that block. Emmitt Smith runs off it. Guyton misses a tackle. Pretty good block by Harper. And right there is where Mark Collins gets hurt.
Like his knees buckle under him.
Well,
on the way down.
Well, you know, Jackson hit him first. As Jackson goes to hit him, you see that he hit Collins right in the face.
Yeah.
He knocked him off the tackle. So part of that was the jolt of Emmitt Smith, but I think the bigger part of it could have been his own guy coming across to make the tackle. I think hit him right in the head. I think it was that jar that did it.
Either that or his knees just gave way underneath. While we have a moment, let's look at next week's schedule. Next Sunday at 12:30, of course, it begins with the NFL Today. The Redskins will be at New York, Green Bay at New Orleans, San Francisco at Tampa Bay. And the late games will have Phoenix at Dallas here, Minnesota at Denver, and Atlanta against the Rams in Anaheim. Phoenix, Dallas starting time has been changed. And Reeves looking on. Obvious concern. Troy Aikman. Wanted to come back. Excuse me.
Someone told Troy, he said, hey, if you got that messed up hair, at least put a hat on. Someone will pay you for the hat. No one will pay you for the messed up hair.
He says I'm not a hat guy. Coach
Taking
Johnson.
Mark Collins up now, and they're putting him on a stretcher.
Mark Collins, one of the better cornerbacks in the NFL.
A real loss here to this Giant defense, because not only their best defensive back, but also a real leader in that secondary.
It has been.
I think that was one of those things that he was starting to tackle and was knocked off the tackle by his own man. It was more of a jolt from his own man than it was the jolt from the end of the run by Emmitt Smith.
Big Ten, the remaining games later today. The Eagles at Phoenix, Miami at the Jets, Raiders against the Bears, Indianapolis, Washington. Tomorrow night, Green Bay at Kansas City. The NFC West, the bye division this week, is Mark Collins. Not certainly in any position to speculate what might be wrong. We'll try to get word and pass it along as soon as we get it. First down, Dallas, after the run by Smith. Emmitt Smith has 19 carries for 99 yards. Word we get on Mark Collins is a lower back strain. He's headed in for x-rays. First down, Dallas. At the Giant 17. Garrett gives to Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt is to the 10. Over 100 for Emmitt Smith.
You know, one thing that Emmitt Smith does is he says he has to be patient. Now watch Eric Williams here, 79. They start off in a double team. He turns this guy, and you see how he not only stays with him, but he knocks him off the line and then stays with him, and then at the end you want to pancake him. That's called a pancake.
And great footwork too, John. Second and 3. Emmitt Smith again to about the 6. Canavis McGee made the stop. One thing you forget about a guy like Williams, so big, not to dwell on that, but Emmitt Smith now slow getting up. But his feet are so quick. It's such great footwork to handle all that bulk.
Yeah, that's the thing that they have to do. I mean, just being big isn't enough to be a professional football player. I mean, you have to be big, and you have to have strength and quickness. And Williams has that. Dogan has it. Nate Newton has it. I mean, they're all big guys, but they move quickly.
First and goal from the 6. They'll try Emmitt again. Emmitt hit by Guyton at about the 2.
The other thing about Emmitt Smith running is, one, he's so durable. I mean, he's the type of guy that you can keep running and keep running and keep running. They pay him a lot of money, and every Sunday he goes out there and he earns that money. But he very seldom goes into the hole that he starts. If he starts on the left, he usually ends up running to a hole on the right. If he starts on the right, he usually ends up cutting back and running to a hole on the left.
Second and goal at the 2. Johnston in front of Smith. Novacek on the move. Darrell Johnston not quite in. No signal yet except by the Cowboys.
I think the fans wanted the Moose to get that one. They were yelling to moo. It sounds like a moo, but they're yelling moo. They were yelling moo before the snap of the ball. They were yelling for moo to get the ball.
That's how close he got.
Again, the ball has to break the play. Pretty good block in there. The Moose cuts back a little, but the ball doesn't break the plane. You can see it there. In fact, as he dove, fullbacks aren't good divers anyway. But as he dove, he brought the ball back into his body, and that brought the ball back away from the line of scrimmage.
Third and about a foot. Try the Moose again? No. Try him and Smith. Touchdown.
Let the Moose lead. Yeah, the Cowboys are just too good. When they lose Troy Aikman, Jason Garrett comes in, but they still have Emmitt Smith there. And I'll tell you the other thing is when they lost Troy Aikman, and maybe even before that, their defense picked up. And their defense has been all over Phil Simms.
Well, that's a pretty good mark of a good team. Smith, 23 carries, 115 yards now. But when one part of your team lets down, the other part has to pick it up. And that's what exactly they did. Murray for the extra point is good, and it's 24-6 with 11:22 remaining.
Okay, classic cars.
63 Vet.
Split window.
Right.
68 Camaro Super Sport.
GTO, any year.
Nice. Gran Torino.
Starsky and Hutch.
Good car. 65 Mustang Ragtop.
It's obvious.
75 Pacer.
Tail fins.
Bumper bullets.
Bench seats.
Drive-ins. Boss 302s.
427 big block LED8 with an 850 double pump.
Beechwood aged Budweiser. Crisp, clean, classic.
Levi's loose-fitting jeans. A loose interpretation of the original.
When most manufacturers develop a new truck, they start with a model. Good idea. Here's ours. Introducing the first and only family of trucks designed from the inside out. A design that starts with you and has become the all-new Chevy S-Series. Everything else is history.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by the new Chevy S-Series line of trucks. So new from the inside out, everything else is history. Levi's loose-fitting jeans. Budweiser Beechwood Aged for a crisp, clean, classic taste. And by Norelco patented lift and cut shavers.
Back at Texas Stadium, Cowboys 24, Giants 6. Pat Summerall with John Madden. There's a guy who's been running down under kickoffs for a long time, number 40, Bill Bates.
And better than anyone who's run down under kickoffs for a long time. I think Bill Bates is probably the best that's ever run down under kickoffs.
Megan. Hit and knocked backwards at about the 15-yard line by Brock Marion. Somebody can get hurt celebrating.
That's what they call the shark attack. I mean, they get down there, it hurts to make a tackle. I mean, being a special teams guy in the Cowboys, you got to get revved up before they kick it. They kick it, you got to run down there like heck. Then you got to make the tackle. Then you got to jump on the guy, and the guys jump on each other, then they beat the heck out of you. But they're having fun.
Another ball, a touchdown ball for Emmitt Smith.
Now, why'd the guy look at his watch? Would he put a time of day?
What time he scored? There's Sims. Back to throw, chased by Haley.
I guess he's checking the date there.
That's right. Let's see.
Yeah,
November 7th.
November 93.
I forgot Buck had a fancy watch.
Yeah, you know those military guys. Buck's an old military guy.
Yeah.
You know, that could be any time on there. I mean, he could have what time it is under siege. What time it is in the air.
1300 or something like that. That little computer on the sideline.
Yeah, I mean, football's come a long way, hasn't it? I mean, they got the monitors on the sidelines and stuff to take pictures and spit it out the other end.
We used to just have a bucket of water and a charcoal bucket.
Now, this is what that guy's standing down there looking at it, pushing buttons, and look, pictures come out.
Delay, offense, 5-yard penalty.
Maybe he was grading us.
He's taking the picture, see, then that picture, they make a still picture out of that, so now they can study how they line up. Yeah, that's a good picture. They can say that. We got a picture of a guy calling timeout.
And the scoreboard. 2nd and 15. The ball at the 12. Sims to Meggett. Meggett by Hennings.
Chad Hennings has developed into a player. You know, he was a guy that was in the Air Force and served in the Air Force. And, I mean, how a guy that big flew airplanes, I have no idea, but he did. And he came out of the Air Force and kind of made the Cowboys as a special teams guy this offseason, bulked up, and now he's a legitimate defensive lineman.
He flew that airplane they call the Warthog.
Well, it had to be a hog. There's no way he's going to fly something that says pirouette on it.
There's Sims out of the pocket. Gets it back across the field, and the ball is lost by Derek Brown. Bates picked it up. They're saying touchdown. There's a flag on the play back in the beginning.
Yeah, you talk about Kenny Gant and doing all these things. This last kickoff, we talked about Bill Bates, but Bill Bates has been doing it for so long and better than anyone. In fact, Bill Bates was the first guy that was picked for the Pro Bowl as a special teams guy.
Offense, number 60. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Just watch the pressure here. You see Tolbert gets so much pressure on Eric Moore that he darn near has to hold him. And Eric Moore is playing the left tackle now for Jumbo Elliott. Talking about that pinched nerve he had.
Jeffcoat put the heat on. Bates came back from very serious knee surgery a year ago. Landetta's kick. Chases Kevin Williams back to the 45. At about the 49. 43-yard punt. Bunch down to make the stop. Dallas takes over, leading 24-6.
A look behind the scenes as sports and science converge, brought to you by AT&T.
Injured athletes undergo many forms of rehabilitation. Now their progress can be measured on a computerized balance board that has been used by NASA on astronauts returning from space. The Philadelphia Eagles trainers tested differences in bilateral strength between the player's injured leg and healthy leg. They can also test balance and equilibrium in players who suffer head injuries. It helps trainers and athletes assess the recovery process.
Hey, MCI friends and family customers, want to see how you could save more with AT&T? Look, most people call the same area code over and over. Well, if you spend $40 a month on long distance, AT&T will give you 25% off our basic prices to that one area code. So if you're a friends and family basic or primetime customer, you could save more with AT&T. Now, write down this number. You'll also get 15% off your other calls, too. So call now and switch. Just another part of the iPlan.
You've waited for a Buick. You've waited for Buick quality at a low sticker price. You've waited for a car with Buick's reputation for safety. It seems you've waited for a century. Buick Century, with standard driver airbag, anti-lock brakes, power locks and windows, and more. All for $14,995. So don't wait any longer. See your Buick dealer today. This is the value of the century.
Saturday at 3:30 Eastern from the site of the 1994 Olympic Winter Games in Hamar, Norway. It's the pirouette and figure skating test event featuring the ladies free skate and ice dance for Nancy Kerrigan, France's Surya Bonali, and China's Chen Lu among the many stars. At Texas Stadium today, there have been a lot of stars. Dallas leading 24-6. Tom Landry inducted into the Ring of Honor at the half. 1st and 10 Dallas. About a yard shy of midfield. Reverse coming to Harper. Reverse pass. Irvin somehow came up with the ball. Harper fired it left-handed. The pass complete. 46 yards. He can wing it.
I'll tell you one thing about Jimmy Johnson. When he gets you going and he gets things going his way, he's going to keep it going his way. Some people says he piles it on or pours it on. I don't believe that. I believe you go out and play the whole game. He's doing it. You use everything you have. He's doing that. Alvin Harper on the reverse and then a left-handed throw. Watch the fake. You think it's reverse, reverse, reverse. Harper makes you think he's going to run. Then he stops and heaves it left-handed. Not a bad heave either.
There's the moose again. Darrell Johnson down to about the 1.5. That, by the way, was Irvin's 301st catch as a Cowboy. And that moves it into 5th place all time.
I remember
just past Doug Cosby. Excuse me.
I was going to say, remember last year the Cowboys beat the Giants, and some of the Giants this week complained that maybe they poured it on.
Said that the Cowboys blitzed too much, and Jimmy Johnson said, when they start taking a knee and not trying to score, I'll stop blitzing.
And I think they're going to bring up that reverse pass, but I agree with that. You just go out and play.
Touchdown again signaled, yes, by Emmitt Smith. His second of the day. Dallas moves ahead 30-6.
The first time that Dan Reeves has been back here for a regular season game, and he really didn't expect this to happen to him. But the Cowboys are just too big, they're just too strong, they're just too talented. They're just that much better than the New York Giants.
John Giesick was at guard in place of Gogan right at the point of attack. Either one, they don't miss much. Eddie Murray doesn't miss much either. And it's 31-6 with 9:02 left to play in the 4th at Texas Stadium.
mean new responsibilities and new needs for life and health insurance protection. Why not not drop in on your MetLife representative to help you figure out what's right for you and your family? Get Met. It pays.
31-6, Dallas over the Giants. 9:02 left to play. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League. CBS telecast intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS and the Dallas Cowboys in the National Football League is prohibited. And Kenny Gant will go into his inspirational dance again. I guess that's inspirational.
Well, you know, he says he's a double personality guy. He said this guy, he doesn't even know him. He said Kenny Gant, the football player, is one guy, and then Kenny Gant, the guy that just walks on the streets outside, is another guy. He's a shy guy off the field. Said on the field, split personality.
I can't believe I do all that stuff, he said.
Yeah.
Murray's kick sails down to Megan. Dave Megan hit down at about the 14-yard line.
Yeah, what would you think Gant looks like? I mean, you see him dancing, you see him running down, you see him hitting guys, you see him playing, and you look at that picture and you wouldn't think, hey, that guy looks like Spike Lee. Albany State. In fact, you know, the first time he was on an airplane is when he came to the mini camp. His first camp here, when he came to Dallas, was the first time he'd ever been on an airplane.
From Lakeland, Florida. He said he went to Albany State. It's not that far. Lewis Tillman, the ball carrier.
The pitch to Lewis Tillman.
I think the Giants know, and you can see them shaking their heads there, that they've been whipped in just about every way you can be whipped. I mean, they've been whipped on special teams. They've been whipped when their offense has been out there. They had some running going, but again, the pass protection let them down, and they couldn't stop the run.
And as when you pointed out, when they got behind, the kind of team they are, when you do get behind, it's hard to make it up. You've got to be able to throw it. Here comes Haley. There goes Sims. Tony Tolbert, after Haley went by Sims, Tolbert took him down.
I mean, that's the thing about Charles Haley, and that's why he is so good, and that's why they've made such a difficult day by Phil Sims, because if Haley comes from the outside, 94 here, and makes something happen, then things just start to fall down. That makes Sims move. Now when he moves, he has to move up, and when he moves up, there's Tolbert, there's Maryland, there's all the inside guys, Casillas and everything, and this has been a tough day for Phil Sims.
That's the 4th time he's been sacked.
I mean, look, I mean, he's been hurried 6 times. He's been knocked down 7 times, and he's a tough guy. I mean, Phil Sims is as tough a guy as there is, but doggone it, you have to give him something, and the Giants' offense just haven't given him anything today. Like they're bringing him out now. I think, you know, all those knockdowns and sacks just take a toll. I mean, you guy can only take so many shots, and he's taking them. It's not any one injury. I think he's just woozy there.
Well, he was shaken. You might remember just before halftime. Looked as if he might have hurt his arm at that point, but after the half, he came back okay. Now he's a bit woozy again. 3rd and 11.
You see, he had the smelling salts there. Just at the end there, he was putting the smelling salts up.
Kent Graham is now the quarterback. And they cave the pocket in around Kent Graham, who gets it upfield to Chris Callaway, and that'll get the 1st down.
I think they finally figured that they better do something if they're getting such a pass rush up the middle. Graham's going to take the ball, go back, and then figure the heck with this. I'm going to get out of here, run to the outside. Now what can I find? Now you buy a little more time moving out there, and then you find an open man.
They just caved in the whole pocket.
Yeah, well, you see with Phil Sims, you know, they know he's not going to run, so I think they just rushed to a point, and they rushed the same way, and Kent Graham took it outside.
1st down, Giants at their own 30. Here's Graham back to throw it. Intended for Tillman. Bounced off him.
Yeah, like I said, Tillman caught one pass today early. He caught a screen from Sims, and that was the first time he's caught a pass all year. So if they want to throw the ball to a running back in there, it's usually Dave Megan. Of course, we talked about Rodney Hampton. They thought they were going to play him today, but they worked him out before the game, and his knee wasn't ready to play, at least on this turf.
Well, he said last Wednesday when he practiced, he felt pretty good. Wednesday and Thursday. Since then, it went downhill. Here's Graham back to throw it. Graham gets it out to Mark Jackson, and that should be enough for another Giant first down.
Pass complete to number 89, Mark Jackson.
7 minutes exactly left to play.
You know, of course, the score is 31-6, but sometimes it just takes a little movement. You just have to do something, you know, get outside the pocket. Then it makes that pass rush honest again for a minute, so then you can stay in the pocket. Although, I admit there's 6 minutes and 50 seconds to go, and the score is 31-6, too.
No flag. There's Graham outside to Aaron Pierce. Pierce outside the Giant 45 to about the 47, hit by Bates.
The Dallas Cowboys are not playing their regular defense. They're in their prevent defense, they're in their nickel defense, and so, you know, I mean, it's easy to say, well, is now Kent Graham comes in here, why didn't Sims do this? Well, he could have just done this. Well, they weren't playing defense like this, and it wasn't the same situation.
2nd and 5. Tillman on the draw play, and that will be another Giant first down as he slashes to about the Dallas 43. 31-6 the Cowboys lead. Remember back after the Cowboys had lost their first 2 games, people were saying how tough it is to defend the Super Bowl title. They're not the same team. Then they signed Emmitt Smith. Now this will be 6 in a row they've won. There's Jerry Jones.
Yeah, he's down there. Jerry Jones, of course, the owner of the Cowboys, down there with one of his most valuable commodities, checking out how he is, Troy Aikman. Of course, I think you better take a little look at Emmitt Smith, too, because he's talking about a valuable player.
Graham deep for Jackson. Brown on the coverage, incomplete. You don't think they're negotiating now, do you?
Well, Jerry Jones said that he was going to talk in December. He was going to talk about a new contract for Troy Aikman, who still has 2 years on his contract, and then since then they said that they've started negotiations now in November. Of course, Troy Aikman said he knew that he had to wait, but then he found out that he was the 31st highest paid quarterback in the NFL. He said that upset him a little. Some of those 30 guys in front of him didn't know who they were.
A few of them didn't upset him, but some of the 30 did. Here's Graham. Pass is caught by Jackson. He swings it close to a Giant first down. Knocked out by Everett.
I think that, you know, at the end of the day, the Cowboys are, you know, because of that 0-2 start that you talked about, and not having Emmitt Smith, and their team has improved too, but now they're going to go in today and finally get back in first place in their division, and that's the thing you have to do. First of all, you win your division first, and you go on, you take care of the playoffs, the championship game, the Super Bowl. But I think Emmitt Smith hurt his shoulder.
I think he did too. Not on the touchdown run before that. Lewis Tillman stopped by Woodson.
Because we know that they already lost Troy Aikman. And, you know, you hope that Emmitt Smith's shoulder is going to be okay.
Well, you talk about they have an arsenal full of stars, guys you have to stop. Those are 2 guys. There's one of them, Emmitt Smith and Aikman. 2 of the brighter stars.
He can't lift that right arm. You see that? He even had someone had to put his cap on for him. He's hurt that right shoulder.
2nd and 7. Pass intended for Meggett. A little high. The Emmitt Smith factor going into today. When their record was 0-2, and now their record was 5-0 going into today. Points doubled. Rushing yards, a considerable improvement. And this will be 6 in a row since he signed and came back.
Yeah, and I think when you take it all into account, running, pass catching, blocking, to me, I think he's the best in football.
Graham with a blitz, looking at it. Pass is incomplete, juggled by Jackson. Gant appears to be a Cowboy shaken up on the last play.
I'll tell you, this is either the worst pass protection I've ever seen against the Cowboys or the best pass rush I've seen of the Cowboys. Now they have a big lead and they're blitzing, but watch Tolbert come from the outside. I mean, every time the quarterback goes back and stays in the pocket, it seems like there's always 2 or 3 guys knocking him down as he throws it.
Looks like everything's just caving in. Flag on the play. Graham hit again. Just does get rid of it. Penalty marker down.
Yeah, that's a free play because the Cowboys were offside.
I think you'd have to discuss with Kent Graham whether it was free or not.
No, I wouldn't take it. I'd just run the clock out of it. I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, there's a point in the game where you say call in the dogs and put out the fire. The hunt's over.
Yeah.
And I kind of think this is a point for the Giants.
Offside. Defense. 97. The penalty is declined. Pass interference. Defense. Penalty accepted. First down.
First down. That's the second time today they've had 2 penalties on the same play.
Boy, football's come a long way when the guy that's holding the down marker has gold on the hand that holds the down marker.
Pass interference was on number 28.
The official word that we get on Emmitt Smith that he is sore and tired. He has every right to be sore and tired.
And he hurt his right shoulder, too.
1st and 10. After the penalty, the Giants at the Cowboys 20. Graham, the quarterback, gives to Bunt. Jared Bunt. Out of bounds by Brown at about the 7. It'll be 1st and goal from there.
Out of bounds by Larry Brown.
Now, I think sometimes there's a point in a game, and again, you just try and get it over with. You just run out the clock. Try and keep your team as healthy as you can be and then start getting ready for next week. And I think for the Giants, that point has come. Now, you can say, oh, you never give up with a game blown. When it's 31-6, I think, like I say, you call in the dogs. And I think they just want to run this thing out.
1st and goal from the 7. 3:47 left to play. Graham throws it away. Again, he gets knocked down. Again by Haley.
Yeah, you know, the stuff that Charles Haley does, it's interesting. They say Haley doesn't have this stat or doesn't have that stat, but I still think that when you look at 94, I still think he's one of the most dominant players in the National Football League.
Funny, we were talking to Stepnoski yesterday, the Dallas center, and to Nate Newton. One of Haley's children was selling candy, and they all bought candy.
Well, yeah, Haley was selling the candy for his daughter, and they all bought it.
They all bought it. Graham incomplete for Pierce.
But old Stepnoski just had one little box of candy, and Nate had a big shopping bag full. He had 10 cans of it. I mean, he had big cans of it. So I said, Nate, I said, how come you had so many barrels from Haley? And he said, oh, he and I are buddies. I think Nate kind of took that candy, probably ate half of it last night before he went to bed. Nate's the kind of guy that'll hide some of that under his bed, too. You know, hide a barrel of that candy underneath his bed the night before the game.
Well, he can hold a lot of candy.
I can see where he's holding it.
Graham back to blitz is in a hurry. That was by Thomas Everett, who hit Graham just as he got rid of the ball.
Yeah, this is the point. I mean, to me, this does no good. I mean, I'm not being critical of anyone other than I think that you ought to just run the ball. Just run the thing, keep the clock going. And why keep going back there and, you know, and throwing ducks? And you've already lost one quarterback, and the other one's getting ready to go.
Well, it is what they call a learning experience.
Yeah, but it's not a good learning experience. I mean, I think it's a point where you know, you've been beaten.
Yeah.
And
sometimes those learning experiences can hurt.
And you want to come back again next week and be better.
Get a good look at the scoreboard, what's happening around the league today. Houston, another team that's rebounded after a bad start. Washington at New York. This is next week here on CBS. Begins with the NFL today. 12:30, Green Bay at New Orleans, San Francisco, Tampa Bay, Washington at the Giants. Late games, Phoenix at Dallas. That game's been changed to a late game. Minnesota, Denver, Atlanta, and the Rams. That's all on CBS next week. 31-6 here at Texas Stadium. Not losing that right shoulder.
I know. You see, he's using his left hand there to take that shoe off. I mean, he's had a couple tough weeks, and again, you know, at the end of a run, a running back takes a lot of hits.
Everything he's doing,
some guys just hitting him up. Yeah, some guy just hit him up for his gloves. And the guy's there, you're trying to get your shoes undone, and the guy's asking you for your gloves.
4th down. Graham, that's going to be out of the end zone. No flags, but there's another flag back at the line of scrimmage.
And there was an avalanche that happened right on Graham. Again, part of it was Jimmy Jones, and part of it was the blitz at James Washington.
Ball start. They'll do this again, won't they?
Offense, right tackle. There was no play.
There was no play.
50, still 4th down.
Emmett Smith, the word gets to us that he says he is just tired and is finished for the day.
Please reset the game clock to 3 minutes and 35 seconds.
There were times when he wouldn't admit that he was tired.
What happened on that last play, it was 4th down, and the Giants moved before the ball was snapped, so there was no play. So now they're going to kick the field goal.
Treadwell, Graham holding. This will be about 29 yards away. The kick is good, and it's 31-9. The Giants got 2 field goals last week, 3 today. You're not going to win many divisions with just field goals.
No, that's the thing. They haven't been able to score touchdowns. They've had trouble in the red zone. Again, they've had trouble, you know, you can say it's Mike Sherrard or whatever, you know, and not having that breakaway wide receiver. But whatever it is, I always still say it starts with pass protection. You get that down, you give your quarterback time. Now, if it doesn't work, you can go and say that you need the receivers. But I think you go to first things first, and I think today was a story of the Dallas defensive front dominating the Giants offensive front.
They're just very good.
Well, the Cowboys got off to a good start with Troy Aikman when he was darn near perfect. And then they got ahead. Then they let guys like Charles Haley take over. And when you let Charles Haley take over and kind of go where he wants, that makes you change quarterback. But again, I don't think that Haley gets the credit that he deserves for being the dominant player he is, because a lot of times, a lot of stuff that he, you know, like when he hits Sims, when he has his arm, you know, hits his arm and all those things, they don't have stats for a lot of those things.
And you forget he's playing with a very bad, very painful back.
Here's an onside kickoff.
Somebody jumped. That might have been successful.
It was successful. Yeah, the Giants had all their guys lined up on this side, and they just kicked the ball, and it took a good It took a good bounce. Watch, you want to kick it down, 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 and then take a high hop right there.
Just like that.
That was a perfect onside kick. And the Giant was right there, and he caught the ball. That's the Giants' ball.
Chris Callaway, there's the bounce.
Watch that bounce. He said it just goes right up in the air, right into Chris Callaway's arms.
Another final, Detroit 23.
I tell you, that's a heck of a play. That was a great onside kick.
That's exactly like you'd like it to behave, but unfortunately, the way that ball is shaped.
It has been ruled that the player from New York would have come down in the field of play had he not been forced out. It is a legal recovery. 1st and 10, New York.
Well, we better get this game over with quickly.
Yeah.
The referee's not going to have any voice left. He started off the game with a bad voice. You know, he said he was hoarse and had laryngitis or something, and as we go on and on and on, Dick Hantek keeps getting worse and worse.
That's too long a call for a guy with a bad voice.
Yeah, I thought his feet were down anyway. I mean, he goes up, and there's both feet were down anyway. I don't know what they're talking about.
It has been ruled that they were down.
Yeah, but they didn't have to rule it because they were down before he went out.
Sims stays on the sideline. Graham is the quarterback. Chased again. Can't get rid of it. Darren Smith came free. Flag on the play.
Right at the sack to number 59, Darren Smith. Flag on the play.
Be holding. And it's going to be against Dallas.
Holding. Defense, number 51, 5 yards. Automatic first down.
It's against Ken Norton. He can hold with his one good arm, I guess.
Yeah, if he held, it had to be with his left arm because his right arm is where he tore the right bicep. And I guess he can pull the arm up and back, but he has trouble turning it sideways, pronation. He has trouble pronating.
1st and 10 in the case. Dallas 43. Here's Graham back. Going deep for Callaway and out of bounds.
See, Kent Graham isn't going to have fond memories of this stadium. Remember, it was Thanksgiving Day when the Cowboys beat the Giants so bad here. And Kent Graham, last year, Kent Graham was the starting quarterback then. So this place hasn't been fun for him.
Today's game was produced by Bob Stenner and directed by Sandy Grossman. Associate producers Michael Frank, stage manager Rich Nelson. To the rest of that in a moment. Meggett on the draw play, Giant first down.
Come on, come on, come on.
Broadcast associates today, John Coleman'sberger, Mike Roy. Coordinating producer of the NFL Today is Eric Mann. Director of the NFL Today is Larry Cavallina. Senior producer of the NFL on CBS is Ed Gorin. Graham back, down. Jeffcoat.
Yeah, we have to look at that play again. I mean, that was a great move by Jeffcoat. He took Eric Moore and just jammed him. Watch this. Here's Eric Moore playing. Here's Jeffcoat here. Now watch what he does to it. In fact, I got to look at this one on the clicker here. Watch this. He comes in. Boom. I mean, he just knocked him right over. I mean, watch him. He hits him with the right and then the left. Watch the left. You get him going that way, then just keep him going that way, right over the top, and look what they found. I mean, that is dominance. I mean, you take a guy, Eric Moore's just coming back, 4-week suspension and all that, but Jeffcoat gave him a lesson. And there's another one.
Another one, yeah. Graham got it out to Callaway, or Meggett, beg your pardon.
Again, now you see Eric Moore is turned and waiting and waiting and waiting, and Jeffcoat again. Eric Moore's just starting too high, and he's letting those guys get underneath him and straighten him up. Then he loses all his power, and then you just run right over him.
Plus, he's backing up all the time.
Right, and the reason that he's in there, of course, is because Jumbo Elliott has that pinched nerve in the neck.
2 minutes left to play at Texas Stadium. 31-9. Cowboys lead the Giants.
Hey, she She's not the first girl to break up with me.
No, but she was the nicest.
No cute slogans.
You want another?
Yeah.
Waitress, 2 more Heineken, please.
No retired third baseman.
Really tried hard with her.
I know you did.
No taste tests.
These are calling.
No.
None of that is what made Heineken the #1 imported beer in America.
You think she'd reconsider?
Stranger things have happened. She went out with you in the first place.
My dandruff shampoo is good.
Better try something else. Mine really works.
You'd better try something else, like Selsun Blue. Doctors recommend it more than all leading brands. Selsun Blue, doctor recommended #1.
When you order a Bigfoot pizza from Pizza Hut, remember to order some Pepsi, or you'll be making a mistake. A very big mistake. So when you order Bigfoot, don't forget to ask for plenty of Pepsi. Bigfoot Pizza, a legendary value.
Left at Texas Stadium. Dallas leading 31-9. Aikman got off to a great start, then he pulled a hamstring. Jimmy Johnson's decided okay.
Yeah, that's
time for nachos now. I can take off the gloves.
That's what like a construction worker, you know, the end of the day you pull your gloves off. The guy's been jackhammering all day. Put the jackhammer away, pull the gloves off, stick them in your back pocket, go home. Nate's talking about all those barrels of candy he ate last night. He probably said he's going to give them to his kids. Baloney, they don't even see them.
Graham had to throw retreating again. The Cowboys blitz with Thomas Everett again. Kenneth Gann almost came up with the reception down the field.
Ken Graham's pass almost intercepted.
You know, Mark Stepnoski was talking about how he, has his jersey taped and tapered and then tapes the pads and there's nothing to grab, and he goes through a thing where it takes him a half hour to tape his shoulder pads to his jersey and the defense can't grab him. Ask Nate if he tapes him. He says, no, I got enough stuff that'll hold that jersey tight to me.
Nobody can grab it. Here's Graham. Again, he's chased out of the pocket. This one's Bland. McCafferty. Out of bounds, or did he stay in? Clock has stopped. He did get out.
There's Stepnoski. See, you got that tapered jersey, and that jersey is taped to the shoulder pads, so there's nothing you can grab there. See him in the arms, the whole body. See, he's a technician. Nate says he doesn't have to tape his shoulder pads. He said he's just a grappler. So he just lets everything hang there. He said the jersey's going to be tight anyway. Said he doesn't have to do it like Stepnoski does it, although Giesick looks like he may do it too.
Cornish. Frank Cornish has replaced Nate Newton at left guard. So it's a Stepnoski, Giesick, Cornish in the middle. Derek Lassick is the running back. Flag on the play. This will be no play.
Flag on the play. Handoff went to Derek Lassick.
False start. Offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Yeah, a guy that stays in there, and probably, if you had to pick the most underrated player of the Cowboys, maybe a year ago it was Darrell Johnston, the Moose, and now I think it's probably the left tackle there, number 71, Mark Tuanay. I mean, he's been playing for 11 years.
Just stays in there.
Just stays in there, always takes that tough pass rusher. Tough guy, always does a good job, very solid, smart.
That's Lassick. Andre Powell made the stop on Lassick.
The Cowboys have so many good players, and so many all-pros. that you never get to the Mark II and A's.
17-yard line.
They spend your time talking about the Irvins and the Harpers and the Aikmans and the Smiths.
And even
Eric
with the
Williams,
line, yeah. I mean, even with the line, Stepnoski went to the Pro Bowl last year. Nate Newton went to the Pro Bowl last year. Well, you don't get out to old Mark II and A, but he's very, very solid.
Second down and 15.
And I think the Cowboys are solid. I mean, I think the Cowboys, if you look and say, who's the best team in football right now, we look here, we see they're the best team in the NFC East. And right now, to me, there's no doubt that they're the best team in the NFL.
San Francisco would come the closest to being the next.
And, of course, they played a few weeks ago, and the Cowboys have already beaten them. And I think, you know, they have to have some luck. They have to stay healthy. I mean, you know, you wonder about Troy Aikman. You wonder about Emmitt Smith's shoulder. I mean, all these things, you know, they have to have. They have to have these star players.
Well, they've been very lucky in that area, the injury area. They were all of last year.
Yeah, today when they lose Aikman, their defense really came up and played well today. And then, of course, Emmitt Smith in the running game took over.
So Jimmy Johnson comes over and says hello. And congratulations, maybe, to Dan Reeves, and heads back to the locker room. 31-9.
What a special day.
The Cowboys improved their record to 6-2. The Giants are now 5-3. Halfway through the NFL season of 1993. Greg Terry and Matt Millen, who's in the studio. Matt Summerall saying so long from Texas Stadium, where the final score was 31-9. Dallas. Stay tuned for the NFL Today postgame.
He's got the 20. Eric Allen chases the 5. 62-yard touchdown. Emmitt Smith.
This is the Dallas Cowboys postgame show. The Cowboys postgame show is brought to you in part by Banking on America. Bank of America. Southwest Airlines. Fly Southwest. It's just plain smart. And Gatorade Thirst Quencher for the deep down body thirst. Nothing works better than Gatorade.
Welcome to the Dallas Cowboys postgame show. I'm Michael Ray, very live at Texas Stadium right now as the Dallas Cowboys win their 6th straight. They go to 6-2 atop the NFC East. They beat the New York Giants thoroughly this afternoon, 31-6, and Alvin Harper's name figured prominently. A 28-yard touchdown catch, a 50-yard touchdown catch, and he threw 46 yards left-handed to Michael Irvin, which set up another Cowboys score. They win 31-6. Big news today, of course, Troy Aikman injured, pulls up lame in the third quarter. Doctors initially say that they think it's not that bad of a hamstring strain. Not even using the word pull. We'll try to talk to team trainer Kevin O'Neill to see what he thinks about the injury. Again, the Cowboys just now going to the locker room on a very special day at Texas Stadium, Tom Landry Day, and a lot of fun had by all. Cowboys win 31-6. Lots more to come on the postgame show as Dallas Cowboys football continues in a moment. Back on the Dallas Cowboys postgame show. Once again, the Cowboys win 31-9. I think I flipped that over for you a moment ago. 31-9, Cowboys win their 6th straight, and they beat the Giants. The defense all week long had to hear about their inability against the rushing game. Did not give up a touchdown today, 3 field goals, and did a pretty nice job against the Giants in general. Ken Norton, of course, with that bicep injury, a severely injured arm, still playing out there. As a matter of fact, after the game, came up the tunnel and had a big smile on his face. Mark Stepnoski was the last one up the tunnel today, and Jimmy Johnson was standing at the door to the locker room saying, who is it? Because if it's a rookie, he's in trouble. The Cowboys are in there right now. They're a little post-game gathering. We hope to hear from Jerry Jones, and of course we'll have Jimmy Johnson's post-game media conference live. Some players we hope to talk to. Kenny Norton, we mentioned him. Alvin Harper, of course, who was a big factor in this game with his 2 touchdowns, and his passing ability. Where did that come from? Left-handed, a little wobbly, but it did go for 46 yards to Michael Irvin, and later did set up a Cowboy touchdown. Jason Garrett, very credible job in relief. We hope to talk to him. And, of course, we do worry about Troy Aikman's injury a little bit. Doctors told us on the sideline that initially they don't think it's that bad. The hamstring, left hamstring, came up late in the third quarter, and
They're going to, of course, look at that. Tommy Agee over there helping us do the show right now. Just a lot of fun right now. Most popular place in the NFL to be outside the Dallas Cowboys locker room. And with us, great day for all, Jerry Jones.
Well, it was, and it was done well in all phases of it. The kicking game got us great field position. Offensively, we played well. When we could have had a letdown, when Troy went out of the ball game, boy, the guys picked it up and just drove it right on in. And so it really complimented everything. And what about that defense? So I can't say enough about it. You know, I'm superstitious. And so I guess we'll have to induct Coach Landry in every time we play out here if we're going to play like that.
Well, I think that might go well with the crowd. They were certainly fired up. You mentioned Troy Aikman. What are the team doctors telling you right now?
Well, initially, you can't feel any difference there with his hamstring, and so that's a good sign. We hope that he'll be ready to go next week, and certainly he plays a position that maybe you can play with a little discomfort in your hamstring.
All right, 6-2. You're in the driver's seat, at least for the time being, in the NFC East. The team looks great. You showed your weapons today. Did you know that Alvin Harper pass was coming up today?
Well, not only that, but I don't think anybody knew he was left-handed either. And boy, he can throw that ball, and everybody's noticed that at practice.
All right, surprise for all of us. Thank you very much. Great day for everybody. I feel like Tiny Tim. Great day for all of us. Jimmy Johnson in the media room right now. He's going to his post-game press conference. Let's listen in. Well, he's not quite there, I'm told, yet. He's just going into the locker room. A lot of press, as you can imagine, surround the Cowboys, and he has a comment or two on the way in, and here he is, and let's listen.
Well, it felt like our team really played well in all three phases. We got a little bit sloppy there toward the end of the ball game and had a couple of breakdowns penalty-wise, and then also let them have the onside kick. I was disappointed in that, and I was disappointed that we were able to, we were not able to stop them right off the bat there in that fourth quarter. But our guys played well. I thought our defense made some things happen. I thought we had good coverage and forced Sims to hold the ball a little bit longer than what he wanted to hold it. I thought we did an excellent job in the running game, and they've been probably the best in the NFL running the football, and our guys held up very well. Offensively, we put the points on the board, and then after Troy got injured, we were able to still move the football, and so I was pleased there. Also happy with the field position that we got in the kicking game. I thought Kevin Williams really did some nice things today, and I was happy to see him do that, and I think, you know, as time goes on, he's going to give us a lot of that. But overall, you know, pleased with our football team. I thought they prepared well, and I thought they performed well until we got a little bit sloppy toward the end of the ball game.
Coach, anything special to stop the run?
No, just played the same stuff we've been playing. We had a couple of wrinkles, but we have new wrinkles every week.
How's Troy?
Troy's got a pulled hamstring, and we'll just have to evaluate that on a day-to-day basis. I thought Jason Garrett did a good job of filling in, and I don't know how serious Troy's injury is. First look, it looks like it may be a short period of time.
Where you showed the way you can adapt by playing ball control offense to the rest of the league, also with the Giants, holding the ball and keeping them off the field?
Yeah, I mean, but we want to do that every game. It's just that the Giants been doing it better than most people here the first 7 ball games.
Jimmy, can you talk about that play where you put it to Harper and then up to Irvin?
Well, we've actually practiced that play for the last couple of years, and you know, we've kidded Alvin about it from time to time. And, sometimes in practice he throws it out of bounds, and sometimes you know, sometimes he underthrows it. He's got a great arm though, throwing the football, you know, left-handed, and we practiced it for a couple of years and came close to using it in a couple of big ball games. Felt like it was the proper time, especially with our quarterback situation. We wanted to do something to put points on the board, move the ball down the field. And we felt like with the way their defense was thinking at that time, that it would be a good call for us to get some big yardage.
Jimmy, do you think you guys are playing the best football in the NFL right now with the win over the Giants today?
I don't know. I think we're playing pretty good, but I think there are a lot of good football teams in this league.
Comment on your offensive line gave Troy Aikman a lot of time to throw today and open up holes for him.
Yeah, offensive line's you know, really been doing an outstanding job, you know, for quite some time. I thought they did a good job last week when we played Philadelphia, and we saw a lot of fronts, a lot of blitzes, and our guys picked them up very well. I thought they did a good job again today of making sure we had blockers on everybody and giving our backs holes to run in, and then, of course, protecting Troy.
Jimmy, can you talk about your defense, specifically Kenny Norton playing with the injury and still doing well today?
Well, you know, almost, I guess you might say facetiously, you know, with, you know, people talk about us not having injuries. You know, but we've had lots of injuries. It's just that our guys play with injury. We had a guy that had a back surgery, and he played. We got a guy, you know, we lost a couple of them in training camp. We got a guy with a torn bicep tendon, and a lot of them are hurt, but they're not going to allow themselves to be hurt until after the season's over with.
What went through your mind when you saw Troy go down?
I wanted to get Jason ready to play and go on and adjust our game plan for Jason Garrett.
Happy with the defense, the way they stepped up when Troy went down, when it came down to it,
Yeah, I was happy. I was disappointed there at the end. We had some penalties there at the end of the ball game that we shouldn't have had, and like I said, we got a little sloppy in the, you know, letting them have the onside kick and a little bit sloppy defensively, and letting them move down the field. But I thought our guys did a good job.
Are you happy with Kevin Williams' improvements shown in the last couple weeks, especially today?
Yeah, Kevin's an outstanding player. You know, I'm actually surprised that he hasn't shown that up to this point. I think he's just going to be a player that's going to be exciting for a long time here.
How do you adjust with that Troy in the game?
Yeah, we ran the ball a little bit more, but other than that, we didn't have a lot of changes.
It's supposed to be a matchup of their ground game against your defense. Was that, obviously that was overrated, the factor that you had been giving up too much on the ground?
Well, I think, you know, people are putting too much stock in statistics. I mean, it's crazy. I guess when you have a Super Bowl team, Super Bowl defending champions from a year ago, and they have a good team this year, I mean, people have to search to find something to be negative about. And, you know, our guys hadn't given up a whole lot of touchdowns here the last, you know, 5 or 6 weeks. And so instead of, you know, saying how good they're doing as far as keeping them out of the end zone, you know, we've really tried to have to dig to say, well, where do we have problems? And I think that goes with having success. I mean, that's the way people are. You know, when you're at the top, like we were a year ago, everybody looks to take shots at you because there's so many that are on the bandwagon. Nobody wants to be part of the group. And so people start taking shots and trying to search to see where they got problems. Hey, you know, we've got a good football team. You know, we've got a lot of football left to be played, and we're going to have problems throughout the year, but I don't think it's going to be a major catastrophe.
Well, those are some of Jimmy Johnson's post-game thoughts. We'll see what his players think now. As Brad Sham comes down from the play-by-play booth, he'll go to the locker room as Dallas Cowboys football continues in a moment.
Guests on the Dallas Cowboys post-game show receive the following gifts: a Saturday night stay at the Sheraton Park Central Hotel, plus Sunday brunch for 2 at Cafe in the Park, the Sheraton Park Central of Dallas, LBJ and Coit Road. Guests also receive a $100 gift certificate from the Room Store, home of fine furniture and accessories. We put it all together and save you more at the Room Store. A $100 gift certificate from Fuller's Jewelry, good for a Seiko watch. Fuller's Jewelry, where we treat you like one of the family. And our star of the game receives a picture-perfect television from Mitsubishi Electronics. Nothing delivers the excitement of sport like a big-screen Mitsubishi TV. And now the Dallas Cowboys post-game show continues with Michael Ray and Brad Sham.
Brad Sham back in the Cowboys locker room. 31-9, the Cowboys beat the New York Giants, and they're in first place at the halfway point of the season in the NFC East. And a pretty interesting afternoon for Jason Garrett, who comes to work prepared every day to play, because they always say you never know. And today you never knew. And then Troy Aikman did something to his hamstring, just rolling out, and in you go. Now, were you watching the play? Did you see him get hurt? What did you think when all that was going on?
Yeah, we were pretty much right there. That's where we were signaling the stuff from. And, you know, the mindset immediately is to get a football and get a helmet and, you know, warm up a little bit, and you're in about a minute. So get ready to go and, you know, have a cool demeanor so everyone feels good about you being in there and just go to work.
So you're telling yourself to be calm. Knowing you, I'm guessing that you were, but do you have anything you do to kind of check yourself to see if you're nervous or showing that at all?
Yeah, I guess you do. Today I felt real good. You know, I felt comfortable with what we were doing in the game plan and felt comfortable watching what they were doing in the early part of the game. So I felt pretty good going in there. There are other times when you don't feel so good and you you bang yourself in the head or something to kind of get yourself going. But I felt pretty good going in today.
It appeared that Norv said, all right, let's give Jason some plays that will not put any pressure on him and allow him to get the flow of running the offense and that kind of thing. It also, however, doesn't give you an opportunity to, as they say, make any plays. Now, how about that dilemma?
Well, I probably had a couple of chances to make plays, and I saw Emmett and I threw him the ball. You know, it's one of those things. You got to get comfortable with the plays, and you know, like we were talking before, I mean, the biggest thing for me is that I like to do, and I'm sure Troy likes to do, and anyone else who's played the position, you want to complete the first couple balls, get yourself going, have some positive feelings in the huddle, and you know, that's what we did. And after that, we were running the ball so well, we're picking our spots, throwing it, and just trying to complete it and move it a little bit.
All right, so I was kind of thinking that you must be looking for maybe an audible to get yourself a touchdown pass when you get down there close.
Well, I was just being pretty hopeful about the signals coming in, you know. I mean, you kind of sit there and you got a couple seconds and you say, you know, give me a pass. But, you know, like I said, when 22's back there and 48's back there, it's not a bad bet to run the ball, and the guys are moving them off the ball. So, you know, I think I have no complaints with the play calling.
It is not your first game experience of the season, but this is a little bit different than the other 3 times you'd been in. Were you nervous? Did you have a sense of boy, I got to hold things together here, or what?
I actually had a pretty good mindset, you know, stay in the short term, one play at a time, that kind of stuff. And like I said, you know, you want to be 1/11th of this type of team because it's a great football team. So, you know, you let Emmett do his thing, you let the guys up front do their thing, and so on. So you don't try to do too much. You just try to help them, you know, contribute to moving the ball, and hopefully moving the ball will contribute to scoring points.
The preliminary report we've heard about Troy Aikman is that his injury is not terribly serious. We'll hear more from the trainer, Kevin O'Neill, later on, but depending on what his prognosis is for next week, do you change the way that you approach getting ready for the Phoenix game?
Yeah, absolutely not. You know, I mean, I think what I do every week is say, Troy's going to get hurt on the first play. It's your ball game. And, you know, that's what I try to do, and I think hopefully I'll get some more of our reps this week in practice if Troy's not ready to go. But, you know, if he's ready to go, I do the same thing. If he's not, I try to do the same thing. Just take advantage of those situations in practice.
All right, Jason Garrett, thank you. Congratulations. We'll let you go. Nice job. And now we're going to bring in another man who had a nice game today, and then some. Alvin Harper, the Cowboys wide receiver, catches 2 touchdown passes for the first time since the Redskin game, and wide open on a couple of those. But of course, I'm guessing the one that you're going to be talking about the most is going to be the one you threw to Irvin, 46 yards. Now, I'm betting if we asked him, he probably had to separate and make a great catch. And as I'm about to ask you, I'm expecting to hear something about what a great perfect strike it was and that kind of thing.
I think it was a perfect strike, but the first thing he came to me and said, he didn't even congratulate me. He just said, oh, man, you ruined my touchdown. You should have led me a little bit more.
How much do you work on that play?
Well, we worked on it a few times, you know, the last couple of weeks, and I was shocked that they called it, and I was very shocked. You know, when I was in the huddle, the guy said it's the reverse pass, and basically I just need to do is just hold on to the ball if they're covering Michael. And I said, man, I'm going to throw this ball regardless of how many people's on Michael.
Now, do you have to tell yourself anything when you're running the reverse to make sure that you don't give away the fact that it's a pass? Because they've got to think it's a run. You want them to think run, so they'll bite up and give him as much room to catch the ball, right?
Yeah, basically you want to run and run until you get to the point where, you know, you see guys breaking on the ball, you know, trying to stop the reverse and then throw the pass.
All right. Now let's talk about the things that you did early in the game that are the things that you get paid for mostly. A couple of big catches, 2 big touchdowns. Take them one at a time and describe the plays and what you saw and what the situations were.
On the first touchdown, it was basically a 2 switch where me and Michael line up on the same side, and he runs an inside post to try to hold a safety. You know, when he runs that post, it clears up man-to-man with me. And then I ran a post, corner post. And then, you know, once we get man-to-man coverage, me and Michael, it's all over.
And that second one, it looked like the cornerback tied you up and released you to the safety, and you were incredibly open for a while till the safety came over, but that was just too late, huh?
Yeah, that was a little new wrinkle we added. You know, they was playing that cover 2 coverage. You know, we pumped the safety, you know, try to hold him a little bit so I can get by the cornerback. You know, once you pump it to Jay, everybody's going to bite, and that left me wide open. And once he realized that he wasn't throwing, he tried to get back on the pass, but it was too late.
All right, big day for Alvin Harper, and the Cowboys win 31-9. We'll take a break and be back with more when Dallas Cowboys football continues in a moment.
All right, Ben.
Brad Sham back in the Cowboys locker room, 31-9. The Cowboys, the first-place Cowboys, beat the New York Giants today. We're visiting with Cowboys trainer Kevin O'Neill, and you had a little bit of a lengthy list. Everybody wants to know about the quarterback first, so how is Troy Aikman?
Well, we don't see what we consider to be any tear right now in that hamstring, which is good news for us. I think we've got to wait and see, Brad, how he responds over the first 24 or 48 hours on this thing. How much swelling, discoloration, that kind of stuff he gets will tell us a lot more about how long he'll miss with this and whether he has a chance for next week or not.
So at this point, he's got a chance to play.
Well, I wouldn't rule it out until we see how the thing responds.
All right, that's very preliminary. Don't hold anyone to that, but at least, as Kevin says, there's nothing to indicate that it's torn. Before I ask you about some of your other players, Mark Collins of the Giants was wheeled out on a cart, and a lot of people wondered about the severity of that. What can you tell us about that one?
My understanding in talking to Ronnie Barnes, the Giants trainer, is that his x-rays were negative. He does have a back injury. He always, throughout the process, had complete movement of his arms and legs, but he's in a lot of pain right now. I think he's got some spasm going there and maybe some other things, and I'm sure they'll repeat some x-rays on him tomorrow based on what I talked to their doctor about, but I think he'll be fine heading home tonight, and they'll see how he is again tomorrow morning.
Okay, real quickly, besides Troy Aikman, the injuries that you sustained today?
It's a long list, and so we'll just kind of hit some of the ones that I think were significant. John Jett, I think, had an extremely gutty performance today. He took a big hit on his right quad, his punting leg, late in the second quarter, and was able to move through the rest of the game with the thing and really did a nice job. Dixon Edwards battled through it with a little bit of a knee problem that I think is going to surface more as a bruise than anything, but he had some significant swelling and soreness in it and was able to finish the game with it. Emmett had a little bit of a bruised shoulder. You know, when the game was in hand after the last touchdown, we elected to take him out and put some ice on that. Hopefully that'll clear up fine for next week.
All right. Where's the bye week now when you need one? We'll take a break. Our thanks to Kevin O'Neill. Dallas Cowboys football will continue in a moment.
Okay.
Thanks, Tim. All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Brad Sham back on the Cowboys locker room show with our star of the game for the Cowboys linebacker Ken Norton in the 31-9 win. I got to mention real quickly, time constraints will prevent us from talking to Jim Jeffcoat, who played a spectacular game today, but no one shone better than the heart and soul of the Cowboys defense, the middle linebacker, playing under some physical difficulties, but obviously not that great. Now, you tell me, were you favoring your arm at all?
I think I was favoring a little bit. I can't help that. Going into it, I knew it was going to be, I was a little nervous about things were going to happen, but I felt that if I just forgot about it and flew around, I think that my game would take care of itself.
All right, a couple of big plays come to mind immediately, and I'd like to have you talk about them. One was the sack on the blitz. Another one was a big knockdown at the goal line and broke up a pass that saved a touchdown.
Oh, yeah. We knew going in it was going to be big plays. We knew defense had to win this game. The sack was a situation where I got in there quick enough, and I beat the block, and I was able to get the quarterback, and Mega came through on the pass, and I was able to get over him and knock the ball down. It was just a great job by our defense.
Best defensive game of the year?
I'd like to say one of the best, and I think it's something for us all to build on.
Now, a lot of people were asking questions about the defense coming into the game, especially the run defense, which you guys obviously got tired of. I got to say that any questions I asked about it came because several players said to me, well, we got to play better run defense than this.
I think that comes from listening to you guys talk all the time. we know how good we are. We know we haven't been playing a run defense very well. I think we're concentrating on keeping people out the end zone, and we've been doing that well. It's important now for us to stop the run so we can keep you off of me and keep you from calling my house.
Well, see, when you give me your phone number, and I got to find out when I go on the air at 6 in the morning, and I got to find out how you practiced in the afternoon.
Yeah, can I say hello to my wife?
I wish you would.
My wife and daughter aren't feeling very well. I want to say hi. I'm sorry you guys couldn't make it, but you were here with me.
Hopefully they'll be feeling better by tomorrow, and the way you played today has got to make you feel a little bit better, too.
Oh, yeah, I felt good. Like I said, I was a little nervous. I wasn't sure if the arm would hold up, but I just kept flying, kept hitting, and the guys kept patting me on the back, and I just drew strength from the guys around me.
Are you in a reevaluation stage week by week, or are you just going to go with this?
I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go day to day, and pretty much my mind is set Unless, like I said, unless it falls off, I'm going.
I don't think that's going to happen. Star of the game's Ken Norton. Congratulations.
Thank
nice
you.
job.
Thank you very much.
31-9, the Cowboys win today, beating the New York Giants. Michael Ray comes in with us now very quickly. And I don't know what we can add after that performance today. It's an exclamation point game.
Consensus has been that the Cowboys have a lot of weapons. I don't think any of us suspected that one of them was a southpaw wide receiver.
Yeah, that's, and I said before, and I have to say again, I just think that Norv Turner and Butch Davis both had incredible games today. Norv Turner had called a spectacular game, especially as exemplified by that Harper pass, and Butch Davis did the same thing calling defense.
Jason Garrett's got to be worried. I mean, he may be out of there. It may be Harper at second string quarterback.
Or not.
Great day today for the Cowboys. They go to 6-2, and we hope you will join us next week as the Dallas Cowboys take on the Phoenix Cardinals at Texas Stadium.
The Cowboys post-game show is brought to you in part by Banking on America, Bank of America. Southwest Airlines, fly Southwest. It's just plain smart. And Gatorade Thirst Quencher for that deep down body thirst. Nothing works better than Gatorade. Promotional considerations by the following. As an official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, Apex applies to 1993 Super Bowl champions with sideline apparel, game jerseys, and performer footwear. Apex, a winning look you can't fake. Michael Ray's Wardrobe, provided by Rothschild's Menswear, where men can save and stay in style.